Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Wapa, yeah, Rastafari. Kilibaba, 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 kilibaba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Yes, what you got today? Spoon TV. Spoon.
A special one from the CEO, Stan Turner with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion.
Hello and welcome to the program Spoon Talk. Let me say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, fellow Liberians. It doesn't matter where you are. We are live on Facebook. And that Richardson, long time, Norm, see you. I'm okay. And you are looking so great this evening for mine.
Thank you, Barn. I haven't seen you for a while either. Where have you been?
Well, I've been here. You know, I have a schedule. It is on Wednesday. Every Wednesday I'm here. But I got an information the last time that you were very busy with some, family matters. I didn't see you. But I'm okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good. How's business?
Well, we tell God thank you. We are strong. And how is the family with you?
Good. I got one daughter graduated last week. I think that's where I was. 3 more to go, and then I hit the road to retirement.
It makes you a successful woman.
Thank you.
You are a successful woman.
Thank you. Yeah. Tina Turner died. I just got the news. Did you know that, Byron?
Tina who? Sorry?
Tina Turner, the musical rock and roll icon, pop singer. Good day. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah. You know who she sang songs like "What Love Got to Do with It," "Private Dancer," "You Simply the Best." I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah, I think.
You guys, oh my goodness, you guys don't know Tina Turner?
No.
I must be aging.
Maybe she's not part of our generation.
No, she's not. She was 83 years old when she passed. She's part of.
No.
Oh, okay. She's not a Liberian citizen. I'm reading on her right now, right?
No, she's an African American woman who just, she pressed on, had a lot of difficulties, but pressed on and became and was a star until she passed.
Yeah, at the age of 83.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, I just got the news before coming on. Um, my husband and I was singing her song in the car when we got the news. Yeah. So anyway, let's go to Liberia. It's good to know that some people don't know Tina Turner. I'm aging myself. Okay. So what's going on, Chairman Bambara? What's going on in Liberia?
Well, I mean, we have to say this because this medium is very much objective when it comes to updating the people, giving the people information as it relates to all of the training issues. The momentum for the ANC in Grand Bassa County is growing. I have to say this, and I'm told that I cannot confirm this, but I have to give the public an update that Mr. Edizana Cummings, he's going to pick Councilor Charlie Bronskin as his running mate. So I called, so many people, a lot of people in Grand Bassa County. They told me that the momentum is very hard for him in Grand Bassa. And Mr. Wesuka Milton Finley, the former Foreign Affairs Minister of the Republic of Liberia, he has pledged his support to Cummings. His presidential bid or whatsoever. So that's a training issue. And another one, group of girls or ladies under the banner, Georgia's second term, they had a press conference today where they expressed their disappointment in Mr. Joseph Boakai, Ambassador Joseph Boakai, on the basis that he did not pick a female as his running mate. But mind you, Dan, they are supporting Georgia. They were wearing barriers. And they said that they are disappointed why Mr. Joseph Boakai or Ambassador Joseph Boakai did not take a female as his running mate. So basically, from my end, those are some of the topical issues in our country for today. The ANC convention and people still bashing at Mr. Boakai, Ambassador Joseph Boakai, on the basis that he did not pick a female as his running mate. So I'll stop here. That the regime.
All right. Wow. Busy city. It looks like Bassa would be busy. I wish I was there. I would be in Bassa. If you knew I was there, I'd be in Bassa. But I'm sure that my colleagues will, keep everything intact for me. Good day. What's your thoughts? What do you have to add?
But I think he still got a few times. It's way on the 27th. He can still be killed.
Okay. Hey, good day. If I leave today, let me just see you.
Yeah.
Right. It takes me about.
You can still make it today, the 24th. About 3 days to go. You can make it.
You can send my ticket for me.
I love that. You show love to your party.
But you showing love to your mom.
All right. Yesterday, this thing started, and what I'm going to talk about, and I thought it was just in-house. Family members can be plow on them. Even the tongue and the teeth can still be plow in the mouth. Yesterday, Mr. Tai Wongwe, who was a member or who is a member of the ANC, took to his social media handle, specifically Facebook, to talk about some of the problems within the ANC that the public or the Liberian people are yet to know about. And he outlined most of them, ranging from Mr. Cummings not having home in Maryland County to the party headquarters in Nimba County being, that is, the party headquarters is at the verge of, or the party is at the verge of losing its headquarters in Nimba County because of $510 that the party has refused to pay. And he talked a lot about, dispute within the party that Mr. Cummings is now paying attention to, and people who close to Cummings, they don't want him to, this class system. He talk about I don't know how I may term it, sociologist. I don't know how you term it. Is this social stratification? He talk about social stratification within a party. That is the class system. People there, they believe that they are at certain level, and this is not bringing any result to the ANC. So basically, his post was about social stratification yesterday within the ANC. A7, they not get power, but I'm more than accept they get social stratification. They get class system. Other people like this, they feel that the two up and other people down. So this did not meet the ANC and its members well. Today, since yesterday up to today, I still seeing ANC folks going after a man who represented them, or a man who they have so much trust in, who they believe in yesterday that will deliver Nimba County. I'm seeing them, going all after him, like when something happens somewhere, everybody going after their friends. So that is happening, and it came out yesterday, like 4 days to the convention. They must talk about convention, the convention that is going to take the nation by surprise, the convention that we are expected to see over 50,000 people attending. Because, to be frank with you, in Grand Bassa County, I spoke with some friends. They said everything in Bassa now is about Charlie Cummings. Everywhere you go, people talking about Mr. Cummings. So we should expect a very successful event coming up from there. Yeah, so we saw that happening. And let me just take a very short break and be right back.
Okay. Exciting news from Grand Bassa. We wait to hear the events unfold. So, there are certain things in the news that I just don't dignify. And all I can say, I'm not going to dignify, certain things in the news. But I would just say everything is on course with the Grand Bassa program. I actually wanted to talk about, this idea of people promoting divisiveness in our country. It has to stop. We have one Liberia, and every one of us can contribute to our country in ways that are unimaginable. But when people come here and start talking about, oh, you don't have a home in so and so, I mean, it's like Liberia, people move from one place to the other. I don't have a home in a particular county either. Does that make me less of a Liberian? No. The reason why is for my parents migrated from wherever their country of origin was, county of origin was, to a different part of the country. I don't speak a language. Does that make me less of a Liberian than somebody who speaks a language? No, because all of us can contribute to our country in unimaginable ways. My father came from Grand Cape Mount County. He spoke Va. My mother spoke Pele very well. Came from the Swan district area. She spoke Pele very well. But in our home, because of the differences in the language, they didn't speak their language to each other. They spoke it when a family member came to visit them. The language that they had in common was Hebrew. And the only reason why they had Hebrew in common was because both of them went to school in Israel and they learned that, but they just couldn't. That's a very hard language to learn. If anybody know anything about speaking Hebrew, they spoke that in our home, and that is the situation of many homes in the country. Not everybody learn a language, and it's nice. Trust me, knowing about the benefits of knowing a language in terms of the brain. That's something we're studying here with children who we call it code switching. And I always joke with the children myself and say, when I'm speaking my Liberian English, I code switching too. But the Spanish children in school, they know how to switch to speak Spanish, and then they can come back to speaking English when they're in school, and then they go home to speaking Spanish. And we find that they have some benefits intellectually because of that ability. So it's a good thing. But again, I don't think that anybody is less of a Liberian just because you don't speak a language. I think that's very divisive when we start
But
speaking with that. CEO, I want to welcome Santa. I want to welcome you to the show.
is she coming?
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, good day. Come in, please.
Yes, I think if people like me, I have a serious problem when it comes to other languages, even local or the international languages besides Loma and English. I try, better. I live in Bon County for like 4 or 5 years. I try, but at least I can understand small and try. But I think it is not divisive if someone cannot speak, specifically where you from. That is why in Liberia, now what mothers or parents are doing, even if you were born in Masterado County, they would do everything possible. Most of the parents, they will do everything possible. At least you know the basis of your original local language, to know a little of it, because it's good. And my grandmother told me the story during the war. She said that's how most people were killed. When they ever went to checkpoints, they asked them, are you a Madingo? When the person says yes, they will tell them, I'm coming.
That's a sad occurring in our country, James.
Yeah, they will tell them, since you are Madingo, speak Madingo. Whatever local language you will say you from, they will tell you, okay, speak it. If you can't speak it, they will tell you you are lying. So I think
James, you were born before the war. You were born during the war. We know that story.
Basically, it's good for everyone to know just small. It's too sorrowful that you will not know anything about not all, but where you from. At least you should be able to speak a little. It's not divisive. I don't see the divisive part of it.
Well, Santa, I just want to say a happy birthday to Miss Bonner Walters. She is someone who watches us all the time. I want to say a happy birthday to you. She's also a Salamatu's cousin. She likes the show, so I wanted to say a happy birthday to her. Yeah, go ahead, Stanton. I just wanted to get that out before.
No, actually, listen. I met you guys. I know we got Chairman Baron. Do we have the guest in the back?
Yes, our guest is ready. Councillor Lami.
But he's not in the back. You took him off.
Okay.
Do you have Councillor? You got Councillor Lami Bako? He's not the guest.
No. No, he's not yet. But we have a name.
Okay, but I'm asking, do you have the guest, Senator Smith?
No, Senator Smith is not here as well.
Oh, he's not here yet. So probably he's on his way. Can you ask Madam Titi? Let's confirm. Okay. But let me say that to Richardson. I think that the issue about, I'm very concerned that you are a politician and you from a district, from a county, and all of your life you have not built a home in that district or in that county. I'm very concerned that if you're a politician and you say, I am from Montserrado, but you have nothing to show. You have not given back to your folks, but you're asking them to vote for you. I mean, it's a fair question, though. It is concerning. I will not get in between which country you're from, which data you speak. I'm not interested. But I think as a politician, before you take state power, try to do for your people. That's my belief. Help them the best way you can. I don't want to wait and say, let me let this give me the position, then in return I can help them. And I think that's my own argument that you're Rich is saying. Most Liberians want to be in power before they say I help you. But you got some good ones who can afford it, but yet they are not helping. And they say I'm from Sano County, I'm from Nimba County, I'm from Lofa County. Put me there, I will help you. But you got money and you don't want to help your folks. Everything you want to send them to the government, the schools, the hospital. You don't want to help them, but you just ship them to the government. And say, put me there first. When you make me president or you make me senator or representative, then I will help you. I cannot trust you. I don't think I would trust that you're Richardson. But let's talk there. While we wait for the others, let's talk.
Yeah, I share a different view on that. I don't believe that you have to have a home in a specific area for you to be able to contribute or give back to the people of that area. Many are doing that. It's just but how we describe how do you give back is different. So for me, again, Liberia to me is a transient country. People who moved to different places because of jobs. And so just because somebody does not have a home in their vicinity or locality does not mean that, that's not where they live. Like if you go to Rousport, the Chinowits have a home. They have several homes in Rousport, that I inherit. Me and my brothers inherited. If you go to Wiala, my parents had property there that we inherited as well. But I can say that's my home, either one of them, but that doesn't mean that I'm not giving back to Liberia or giving back to Liberians, by virtue of us even being here for 3 hours every day. That's one aspect of giving back. So I'm not too keen on, having a home in a specific place. If your parents originated from a specific place, like if you go to Rousport, Grand Kipman County, you ask about the Chinowith, they will know. Like if I just from Nonyon Spoon, you always talk about Lexington Sano. If I went and asked about the Weatherspoon who came from Lexington Sano, they will know that you had some family members that came from that area. But to say you got to put a house there or something like that, I don't necessarily hold that view.
Okay, but I think let me ask you though. It's not about you building a home, like you build your own personal home. Don't you think for all the years you have worked, at some point in your life you should go back and help those less unfortunate folks to give back to them? Or you only wait and say, make me president, then I will reward you, I will help you?
So for me, Stanton, the question is, what do you mean giving back? So if we have a specific idea in our head about what is giving back, maybe that's the struggle, but giving back to me is, we don't know how people give back. You don't know how I give back to my community. I don't know how you give back to your community specifically. I know
I really don't want to know how you give back, but we're just saying give him back in a general term. If you give him back any way, any form, any shape, it's fine. But to say I will not contribute to the community, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying I'm not contributing. I'm asking you, Dr. Richard, saying, let's get all of the mindset about how the person gave back, whether it's small or it's big. I'm asking you, don't you think it would be unique? You are from Cape Mine or Bombing or wherever in Liberia. God bless you. You are successful. You should now be able to go and give back. I'm not saying build 2-3 homes in that community. Create a program, help with schools, help with hospital, help with some of the social issue. One. My second thing is that if you say you are from Cape Mount, don't you think there should be a physical presence in Cape Mount that people know that you are from there?
I'm not. I don't think so. I really don't. I think that yes. I think that because of the underdevelopment of our country, like Cape Mount, I would love to be able to go back and give back, do the things that my grandfather did in Cape Mount, my father did in Cape Mount, but I can't because the road is so terrible. So when I'm in Liberia, I'm basically giving back in areas like that I have accessibility to. So people give back in different ways, and that's what I like to say. But for me to say I want to hold someone who's in government, um, hold them to giving back before I say they're good politician or not good politician. I don't know if I would go to such definition of that. That won't be my definition of what a good politician should do or not.
Thank you very much, though. I mean, we shouldn't go back and forth, but for me, I think from
It's okay. We can
where I
go back
stand,
and forth. It's okay.
it's just not a good thing for you as a successful person. The only way you will go and build home in Sano County except they make you president. The only way you will contribute to the hospital except they make you vice president. The only way you can contribute to the school system, give back, help kids, take people out of poverty, except they make you senator or representative. I don't think, to me, I don't think it's fair. I think from where you sit, if God bless you, help. Uh, that's the best thing to do. Don't don't hold on to the blessing and say, make me this first. You know, some politicians them they say they're from this county, that county, but guess what? They have nothing to show that they are from the country, just their passport or their voter registration card or the birth certificate. They have nothing in that country to show. And I think it is regrettable for us to sit and allow those things to happen. Uh, after you have lied or promised them, even when you become president, vice president, speaker, whatever your position may be, you will still care less about that county or about that district. And that's why I stand though.
Yeah, I mean, and it's okay. We can have this conversation as we wait for our, guest speaker. I don't know who's making such condition or precondition before being elected uh, to an office, to a public office. So um, I think people give back in different ways. It doesn't have to be specific to a locality, as I said before. Um, but there's different reasons that prevent people from giving back the way that um, you wanted to give back. We have to remember that we had war in our country for a long time, so uh, it was difficult for people to settle in specific places for a while. Now that we have had some peace for at least going on more than 12 years, people can put some foot into different places. Like the entire wartime, my father wanted to go to Cape Mount for a long time, but he couldn't because of the wars. They ended up going to places that were safe, going by way of the Cottontown area and to get
But what do you have to do with giving back?
now I'm just telling you why. I'm explaining to you that because of the war, people couldn't get to certain places. And I'm giving my dad as an example. He couldn't go back to Cape Mount because that area that it wasn't there was a lot of fighting going on in that area. It was difficult for him to get to it. So I'm telling you, people were transient during the wartime. Now that we have some stability in our country, now people can say, okay, I'm going back to be stationary to certain areas. And the area could be, Monrovia, it could be Nimba, it could be wherever it is. So
I
that's
like that Richardson, man. I shouldn't just, for me, they just get some wicked people. They get want to help you when you give them position. And this may be so harsh, but I think it's wickedness. If you see the suffering of our people, the Liberian people, don't wait for them to ask you. I'm not saying you should let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, but if you can help them. If you can get them out of poverty, get them out of poverty. Be the blessing to them. And when the time comes for them to bless you back, they will reward you. They will bless you. but you only seeking the position and saying, yes, I am from Sando County, till you can make me a senator. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. I think it's just not fair. But I can see Senator Wellington Smith in the back. If you're ready for him, Dr. Richardson, then we can bring him on.
Sure, let's bring him on. But again, I think I want to tell you that I don't know if it's pure weakness, like you said, that people are just not willing to give. There's certain reasons, people got different ways of being blessed. And so you can say it's pure weakness that somebody don't want to give.
Oh man, I like to be high sometimes. What's the reason not to give? Since you've been running for the position for 2 decades, what's the reason not to give back to your community? Somebody must tell you first. What is so important? The number one reason that you will not give back to that community, you will not sow a seed, you will not bless somebody, only if they make you president, vice president, senator, or representative. What's the number one reason? Liberians are suffering today. They are drinking dirty water. They are eating dukkha, the one that we used to eat. They're going in the swamp to get food when there is none. And you have an opportunity to be a blessing to them. But you can't say, I have this reason I won't do it except Joey, I leave power. Except you make me a president or vice president. By the way, I don't want to hold the guest down. The guest is in the back. It's interesting. But okay, can we bring the guest on though?
Yeah, let's bring the guest on. But I see, there are some good-hearted people, some very kind people, that just contribute to help. But I don't know, and again, maybe I don't know where you're going at this with, like, there's people who want to be something before they help. And I think help comes in different ways, so maybe I'll get the root cause of what you're telling me. I have a sense, but I want to hear from your mouth, and I'm not going to I don't like making assumptions about things, or, I like people to come out and tell me facts. So when you tell me the facts that are relating to what you're talking about, then we can deal with it. But right now you're speculating and telling me.
No, wait a fight. I have no fight. We are having an open conversation waiting for the guest. We tried bringing the guest in, his internet went off, but he's coming back. I can see. Folks, we're going to have Senator Wellington Smith. He's our guest tonight. We'll be talking about the rural fund. We'll be talking about the drugs issue. We'll be talking about national issue. And I heard that this guy is so smart. And I heard that he was in Ghana before. I did a research on him. This senator, he's a smart man. Fagon knew he was coming, so Fagon ran away. This man and Fagon used to be Buduburan camp together. Fagon knew the man was coming, he ran away from the man. I don't know why. I said, man, you're a coward. Fagon said, man, I don't want to tell my man. I said, I am man. Y'all slept in the same house together. Y'all eat food to yam together. Y'all hustle on Buduburan camp. And now you're running away from the senator. Senator Wellington Javon Smith, welcome to the Spoon Talk. And I will allow Dr. Richardson to do a full welcome for you.
Senator, welcome to the program. It's great having you.
Thank you.
It sounds like, or it looks like this is your first time being here with us, and we are going to allow you to just kind of introduce yourself to our audience, and then we'll probably ask you questions from there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As I said, my name is Wellington Javon Smith. It is not a new name in media circle. By training, I'm a journalist. I was the editor for the famous Star Radio before former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf called me to public service by making me superintendent, assistant information minister, and today I'm senator for Rivers County.
That's quite.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Senator, you in Monrovia or you in Rivers? Which county are you in right now?
I say, are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
We are. Oh my goodness, he's not hearing us. Are you hearing us?
Oh, okay, I'm hearing you now. I'm hearing you now, Doc.
I think Stento was asking you, where are you? Are you in Rivers or are you in Monrovia? Where are you?
No, I'm back in Monrovia because after the break.
Oh, okay.
The,
Great.
the reason why I asked is because it would have been better if you were to go into the studio. The internet would have been better in the studio. But nevertheless, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. It's good. If you can hear us, we'll manage through. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah. So
Yes, I getting you, but somehow dodge it. I don't know.
amen. Too bad that we're having difficulty. We can hear you clearly, but it sounds like you have difficulty hearing us. So it sounds like you've been in government for a little bit now,
Yeah.
ranging from being an assistant information minister, and then you were superintendent, and then the people elected you to be their senator. I think, Stanton, can you hear me? You guys, okay.
I can hear you, but the internet, again, I don't know how close he is from the studio. It would be better that he enter the studio that we can have a good conversation.
Definitely.
But we'll be having Senator. I hope. Can you call Madam Titi to allow him in studio at least if you
All right,
can take a quick ride. James gonna call Madam Titi.
Okay, James gonna
Because I
call.
still want to hold you on this thing.
Please do. Please do.
Dr. Richardson, it's important to know. Let's stop the play. Let's stop the buyer. That we're calling buyer. It's good to have counselor here too. It's important, Dr. Richardson, that when we get into this thing, the mindset of our people that I must eat before you eat is wrong. That mindset is horrible. Say what you want to say. You can tell the Liberians that you're from Bogolonje, that you're from Greenville, you're from Lexington, you're from Sastan, you're from Noa Panton, you're from Saigon, you're from Zimbabwe, around Point 4 there, you know. You can tell the Liberian people that you are there, you're from the mud, you're from the water, you're from Gibraltar, but you are failing yourself not to help them. Only when you will only help them when they make you representative, president, vice president, or senator. But you have the means to help them. And you say, no, I won't. To me, it's wickedness. And when we try to get the senator back, I will go back to my own word. It's wickedness. That is to say, when you get there, you will still not help them. We are all Liberians. No condition is permanent. Some are up, some are down. You don't have to have the millions of dollars before you help. But the little, be a blessing, and God will bless you back. And that's my take. A lot of folks today in the legislature, they are corrupt because they found themselves in a position, somewhat. And seriously, it's bad. You don't have a home to the country you came from. You don't have even a hut or chicken rat. You don't have it there. But he's saying, that's my country. I was born there. The people will vote for me. I rest. My 2 minutes over.
Good. Welcome, Councillor Lamin Parkour.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good
Thank
to
you very,
see you
very much.
again. We're here today. I'm sure you are able to listen to the conversation that Stanton and I are having as we wait for our guests to come in. And, and I'll give my thoughts and then have you, so I won't lose and have you also charm in a little bit. If you've been around me long enough, I think most people know that I subscribe to whom much is given, much is required. Okay. So I think that once God blesses you and you can give back to people, but it doesn't have to be in a specific locality. Okay. Because again, for me, in the generation of people that I know, we are very much transient people. Like I explained, my father grew up in Cape Mount. My mother is from the Arlington, Swan area. They moved to Kakata, Bon Mines, and later on, because of the war, they left the country. So I am very transient. I can't claim one particular place to say it's my home, but I can say my parents' home. Like, I think what your argument is, if I can say Cape Mount is my home because I have, home. I inherited my parents' homes in Cape Mount, so that's my home. So, but I do give back. I give back to Bon Mines, as you probably know, Bon Educational Center, all the time. So, I don't know. I won't say. I'm not sure if
No, I'm not saying about you, Dr. Richardson. It's not about you giving back. This is not about Dr. Richardson. You are not running for political office, though. You are doing extremely well, sacrificing the time you could be spending with your family, your husband, your children, working, making more money. You are on Spoon Talk 6-7 days a week. I'm not referring to you, and Liberians out there, they are listening to me. It's about the politician and they want to be politicians that's seeking higher offices. So I'm not talking about Dr. Richardson. The people know them. Show me them. Show me them. Let's start with the political leaders. Can we? And we'll bring Councillor Lamy in. I know we are waiting for our guest, Senator Smith. Once you get on, we'll skip off. Let's start with the political leaders. Jowea had a home on 9th Street. When Jowea took over, he built all those apartments. George Manawea, the president, and Liberians know this. You know that, Councillor. A man that failed to disclose what was in his account prior to taking over. He had that 9th Street home. When he took over, he built 18. So many other homes. Joseph Yiman Boakar. Everybody said that's the only property he had. And the one in Lofa. If you know about Joseph Yiman Boakar other properties, let us know. Liberians need to know. I will ask you, I don't know about Mr. Cummings. Does Mr. Cummings have a home in Maryland, or which county he came from? Let's talk about the vice president. Let's go around the block. I mean, these things are concerning. What have you done for your people? It's a legitimate question. Ask George Manawea, what have he done for his people in Grand Crew? Ask Joseph Boakar, what have he done for his people in Lofa? And ask Mr. Cummings, what have he done for his people in Maryland? Let's have that conversation. Do they deserve the vote of the people? Do they deserve the vote of the people? Equally so. It's a fair question. But Councillor, my 2 minutes is up though.
So, I would disagree with you when you start outlining the issues of who has property where, and that should qualify them to be elected to public office. I think that some of the reasons why we are in the kind of debacle we are in this country. Some time back, Senator Prince Johnson accused Councillor Gonglo of similar thing and saying that Councillor Gonglo did not have a home in Nima County, which is not true. It's a lie. It's a both-faced lie, and he knew it was a lie, but he decided to use that as a means of campaigning. And Councillor Gonglo responded and said, I got a house in my village, but that's not an issue, got property here, property there, but that shouldn't be an issue of campaign. So when you hear people say these things about this person doesn't have, some people who didn't have anything until they became political leaders and started living off the sweat of the Liberian people, they are the ones that say this nonsense.
Different subject, right?
We have to discourage it. Somebody who didn't even have somewhere to live before. They were living in a one-room place with their whole family. For some reason, for some accident of history, they became political people. And then because the system is corrupt and it thrives on patronage, they were able to become rich people today. So now they're the best humanitarians. That's some of the reasons why the country continues to be kept down. Until we can discourage that particular mode of politicking and allowing ourselves to go down that road and discussing what someone has in his home, or how much philanthropy the person is done, till we can stop those things, this country is most likely doomed, because the flotsams and jetsams of the society, I mean, those are people who are not worth anything. They are the ones that will end up continuously being in the political space. The people who are senior sycophants, who live off these people, and then they themselves acquire some wealth in the process, will continue becoming the political leaders, because that's their argument there. What have you done? What do you have? After they have stolen, after they have benefited from ill-gotten wealth, they use it as a means now to start saying that they are the best humanitarians. We have to discourage that talk. And that's the reason why the very first day I was on the show, I said we should condemn those MPP people who said they were crossing carpets to the Unity Party because the CDC did not give them jobs. We should condemn such people. This society should have no room for such arguments, because that argument only encourages people to do what Mr. Weah did when he became president. And I would disagree with you again, Stanton. We knew how much Mr. Weah was worth. We knew it. Mr. Weah declared his asset in 2005 when he was running for president. He pretty much said he didn't have anything. He declared his assets again in 2011 when he was running for president. He pretty much said again he didn't have anything. He did the same thing in 2005, 2011, 2014 when he ran for Senate. He pretty much said he didn't have anything. 2017, he did exactly the same thing. In a court case in America, he said he didn't have anything when he was a senator in Liberia. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the fact that this man had declared his assets and made a soon declaration, even though it's in a foreign court, consistently, a lot of money to start building houses and tearing down houses and stuff like that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to people to know that.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Councilor. What you saying?
Yeah, so So we have the senator. He's also on the line due to buy internet, and he's on the line. So he just told us that he will be live via telephone conversation.
Okay. All right. Just keep.
So we have him right now.
Yeah, let Councilor finish his thought.
Yeah, so just to conclude, so we can, because I think that topic is a very important topic that we have to come to, and probably Senator Smith will be providing us information. I hope Daniel Sano will be here tonight to provide the information that we're asking for last night. The roll phone resolution, if Senator Smith has it, he should probably make it available also, so we can see all the lawmakers and senators that signed that roll phone resolution that people were condemning other people for giving the finance minister free pass. Let's see all the people who sit in our governments and do these bad things, waste our resources, steal our resources, get involved in deals that will destroy the country. Going back to talking about resolutions, just think about the Kabina Janneh situation. That some of those people were in the legislature at the time, or an impeachment that was absolutely extra constitutional. They got involved with it. We understand they took money, and at the end of the day, they are impeached or setting Supreme Court justice that should not have been impeached. In fact, he should not even be on an impeachment.
So, but we have to stick on this real quick, because I think
let's go to the discussion today. But let's keep it in mind that Daniel Sano owes us a resolution.
Yeah, but Daniel Sano is not here, Councilor. I think your Councilor, we're not going to call Daniel Sano when he's not here. When he come on the show, you can ask him for.
Yeah, I hope he's not conveniently away.
You can call him. You have his number. Call him. But Dr. Rich is saying, let me disagree with my brother, with my friend, Councilor Lamine Bako.
It's okay to disagree.
I am not asking Lamine that you should go build a home in your county. And I want you to yell me and yell me well, Councilor. First of all, George Manneh asset declaration here in the United States. Do you have a copy?
No, I don't.
His asset declaration in Liberia. Do you have a copy?
No.
In 2005, I
did have a
have
copy, Councilor?
2005. Not now.
Then why is it? My brother, let's stop this thing. George Manneh, when the time came, He said he declared his answer when front page ran after him. He sent it to the court. The rest is a history.
No,
The
that's
rest is
after
a
he
history.
became president. That's after he became president, right?
But I thought we're not interrupting each other now.
Sorry.
Yeah, and the rest are history. I've lied up to now. You can't get it. Okay, let's just be frank. Consider what was done here in another American system. They make him walk in and say, "I never had a job in America." That's the man child support case. We are talking about our country, Liberia. You don't expect that you from Sano County, where my father from Lexington. And all this time, my father just went back to Sano County and said, I won't be senator, you'll vote for me because I'm from Sano County. What have you done for the people? So this kind of excuse that don't do anything for them, let them vote for you, or else then you're creating a monster. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I just don't buy it. I think it's a fake, a way just to just get what the people can offer you, and you just use them, enrich yourself, and leave them. If you don't have it, you don't have it. We are talking about those that have it, Counselor. You can ask the question about Joseph Yima Boaka. What have he done for Lofa? He came from Lofa. Why the people voted for him not a some percent during 2017? Is it because he was a vice president? Did he touch lives in Lofa? Talk about Brunskin, the late. Why do people love that Charles Walker Brunskin? Though he never had a 98% vote from Bassa, but at least the majority used to be behind Brunskin. Let's talk about Tewan Gonglo you are talking about. You said Tewan had say he got a home. What have Tewan Gonglo done for his brother? Brother, I will give you a pen and paper. You have your conversation. We still got more time because the guest is we'll bring the guest in. I mean, let's just be fair, my brother. What have Tewan Gonglo done for the people of Nimba? We heard Tewan's story, a poor man lawyer. For the entire Liberia, he did well. People that are insulting Tewan today, those opposition to Tewan, he freed some of them from jail. Mobile Molu, Jefferson Koji, the list go on. But what have Tewan done for his people? What have he given back? They need Gonglo. What have they given back to the Nimadians? Let's talk about Mr. Cummings. He's from Maryland. Does he have school in Maryland? Hospital? Did he contribute to safe drinking water? Do we have a home in Maryland? I don't know. That's a fair question. For you to hold the highest office in the land, man, come on. Let's stop this spin. It is important that you do for your country. We'll go back to the president over here, JFK. Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Most of them asking what Liberia can do for them. That they have it, they're not going to help. I yield my time to Dr. Richardson. I believe the guest is on the phone line, Mama.
Yes, and we'll get to the guests. I actually would rather have him in the studio, but you know, I'm getting what you're saying, and if you're saying that in order to be elected in a certain place, you have to give back to the people. Okay, you can't just get up and go there one day and say, listen, I want to run to be your senator or run to be, your representative. That sounds like a good thing, like to be familiar with the people who you want to represent. I see that in Liberia sometimes, in the case of Snow came from, a district in Montserrat, I believe, and went to Bummy. And got elected there. So we have to go back to if is that what the Constitution make any provision for saying that you can run in a particular district or represent or be a public servant? And
but we saying that the Constitution. We know say that the Constitution, Mama. But don't speak like they say that the Constitution. Everybody listen to us on the show tonight. Did we say that the Constitution? There is nothing in the Constitution saying you must go, Dr. Richardson must go to Cape Mount and build a house in her village before she be representative. No. We are saying morally, the right thing to do. help your
Okay,
fallen
thanks for
brother and
clarifying.
sister.
So thanks for clarifying. But again, I'm glad that you said the Constitution does not require that of people, but morally, it may be the right thing to do. Okay, I think that's something I will subscribe to. But on the other hand, again, I keep on going back to how do we define giving back? I mean, somebody can live in Cape Mon County and give back to people in Montserrat County for whatever reason. Somebody can live like in the United States and give back to people. Like I've been a part of sponsoring a school in Beaumont for more than 18 years. I don't have any family members there, but I'm all the way in the United States and I pay monthly dues and go visit the school when I can. But somebody can be in Nima and give back to people in Grand Gillette. So that's my point is if you have the spirit,
Come on,
if you have
Dada.
the
Hey,
spirit of
Dada.
giving, if you have the spirit of giving and you show that you love Liberian people, not based on where you come from, then I think that I would look at you as being a well-rounded good person. Now I also want to go back and say historically, Liberian people don't vote because of your locality. They vote, to me, it seems like they vote on things like travel lines. That's why I think that they voted for Joseph Buckeye. That's what the entire
Dada Richard saying the guests on the line, sorry to interrupt you, but when the guests leave, I want to ask you this question. You can please think on the UN Councilor supporting Tewan Gonglo, you supporting Alexander Cummings. I want to know some of the achievement of
You just
Alexander Cummings
interrupted me.
in
I wasn't
Maryland.
finishing. You just
Oh,
interrupted.
I thought we were going to the guests. That's why I said.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you
go
still
ahead, finish
talking
up.
go to the camp. I didn't finish. And I was just saying that people vote on religious line, travel line, popularity, name recognition. They want to be connected to somebody. So that they don't usually vote by to say, oh, you give back to my community, because I see that people in Liberia and even in the United States, people jump from one state to the other. People like I think you know the famous case of Dr. Oz, who wasn't even living in Pennsylvania, but he came in to run in Pennsylvania. I think he came from Connecticut or somewhere. The same thing happened in Liberia. I give the example. Edwin Snow left, and went to Beaumont County to run and was elected there. So, having said that, I'm done. Let's go to our guest. After that, Councillor Lami Bako, we can have that discussion then. Senator, are you on the phone?
Yes, I've been on the phone. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Can you just again, just tell us again? I know you were talking. Were you done telling us your background history?
Okay, yes. Thank you again. And let me appreciate the Spoon family for inviting me. I think this is about the second invitation. The first was when we just took over. And at that time, I felt I was a stranger just entering the Senate. And I didn't deem it necessary to just get on such a major global platform. I wanted to acquaint myself with the working of the Senate and some of the issues to address before coming. And thank God today, okay, as I was saying, well, as I said, my name is Wellington Chiefon Smith. It is not a new name in Liberian media circle. I worked several years with the print. I joined the electronic, and I was editor for Star Radio until former president now, Salif, appointed me to be superintendent of my county, Rivers. I served there 5 years, and later on, I was appointed assistant minister for information until the CDC government came to power. And now I am senator for the county. I went back to the people in the listing, and by their will, I'm today's senator. I chair the Senate Committee on Labor in the Liberian Senate. I co-chair executives and I'm member of several other committees.
Thank you, Senator. We will go ahead and ask you questions. We'll start with Stanton. Stanton, do you have 2 questions for the senator? And then we'll go to the councilor, Lamin Parkour. You muted, Stanton, you muted.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator. We say welcome to Spoon Talk. Again, the People Network, we're glad to have you. Indeed, you ran away from us when you got in office, but now you are well prepared to have the discussion. You know, we do not hold anything back. We're going to jam you. Yeah. We're going to have a fine conversation. Yeah. So it's good to have you, Senator. Sorry that you couldn't make it into our studio, but we hope you can try next time to go to the studio that we can have a face-to-face conversation. Now, Senator, I do believe that you heard the program yesterday and you asked to come join the show that we can discuss 2 very important things on my mind to discuss with you. 1, the road fund. 2 is the drugs issue. Let's start with the road fund, sir. Give us an overview and your take on this mess in the country called road funds.
Thank you very much, my brother. I was inducted the last week in April 2021. By August, the National Road Fund and the Public Works Ministry submitted the individual annual report to the Senate. On that time, when the reports were submitted, I raised a red flag. I think I sent you a publication of the Daily Observer in August of 2021. When I raised the red flag, because I saw something wrong smelling, felt that something wrong was going on with the road fund. And so I raised the red flag. The road fund in their 2020-2021 report, the road fund said that they spent $604,000 in reverses on roads during the period under review. I consider that report of great disservice to the people of Riverside, considering the condition under which we live. Because I spent the whole 2020 in Riverside, pre-campaign, campaign, and election. And up to the time I was inducted, because when I won the December 8th election, there were protests from my main challenger. And so we ended up recounting 3 additional times. And so I was frequent in the county, back and forth, going for recount. And so considering what we were going through in terms of roads, people, prominent people, citizens, sleeping in the mud for days, for such a report to come up. When I went through the report, I said, no, something is wrong somewhere. Fortunately for me, when the road funds report came, it didn't stay 2 days, but the Works Ministry report came. And please bear with me, let me explain the procedure that led to my protest. The relationship between the Public Works Ministry and the National Road Funds, especially when you talk about the Leeward counties. Public Works Ministry will identify the project area, meaning whether that pavement, whether that rehabilitation. Public Works Ministry will identify the project, inform National Road Fund. Public Works Ministry will put out the bid. The company that wins will sign the contract with the Ministry of Public Works. Public Works will then inform the National Road Fund. At the end,
Chairman Byron? Are we good? Dr. Richardson, are we good?
I can hear you, but I can't hear. It looks like our guest went off.
That's what I'm saying. Councillor Parkour, are you there? All right, we don't know what's happening.
Councillor, are you there? Councillor Lamy, can you hear us? He can't hear us either.
James, you need to come on and tell us what's happening. You can be sharing sign language, my man. What happened? Councillor, can you hear us?
Baron is reconnecting.
Okay, but Councillor, can you hear us?
No, even if he hear you, you will not hear him because Baron is off. I'm calling Baron.
Can I have the senator number? Let me call him from here. Folks, just bear with us. We are having connection problem. We should be connecting with the senator.
I did.
Okay, but let Baron come back on now because we need to hear from Councillor too.
Baron is getting connected. He's completely off.
His internet is off.
I have not getting him, but he's gone off. He's not in the back.
Can you call the CEO, Madam Titi?
I'm
Simple.
calling.
Yeah. So, Dr. Richardson,
Yeah,
let's carry on while we wait for the guys to reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I think Senator can hear us. I mean, Councilor can hear us, but I don't know why he's
I
not
don't think he
speaking.
can hear us. Good, they say he won't be able to participate until after Morovia gets connected. So it's just
Okay.
Yeah. So let's wait until they get connected.
But something is shocking though, because I think the senator saying that, and it is true on the newspaper, Dr. Richardson, that the government said it gets $604,000 for the road fund, but the senator said we didn't receive it.
True.
And it was reported.
Mm-hmm.
How can again, and I want to ask the senator, man, it's getting serious right now about all this yama that we gave you the money, but we do not have it, and all this other story is scary. Talk to us about it, Dr. Richardson. You heard what he said. You read his story in the newspaper, but talk to us while we connect with them.
I'm actually just reading as we go along as he was speaking. It sounds like he's trying to figure out where the money went, because I wrote down, he said that the roads that he sees in his county doesn't look like $604,000 were given for road from the road fund. That's what he said. So he's asking, where did the money go? And I want to hear what his theory is about that.
All right, Dr. Richardson, I have the senator on. Let's have the conversation. Senator, can you continue? Because it's getting interesting about the $604,000 that the government said they gave you guys from the road fund, and you say no, you didn't receive it. Talk to us.
No, they did not
give it to us. They put it in the National Road Fund had it in the report that the period 2020 and 2021 they spent 604,000 US dollars. For the same period, the Ministry of Public Works that is responsible to identify contract, sign agreement with contractor, determine the value of the contract and everything. The ministry's report for the same period to the Senate said that they contracted a service of a company, and during the same period, the ministry said the cost of that particular project was 122,000 US dollars.
Wow.
So I, as the new senator, coming very keen on issues, I decided to do a comprehensive and
all right. The senator is reconnecting. Can we bring in?
Satan.
Yes, I'm here.
Are you getting me clear?
We can hear you now. You are being interrupted, but we're hearing you now.
Okay. Okay. Titi is calling me. Can you please tell her that I'm on the line with you?
Okay. I think she heard that. She heard it. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the disparity was what my attention, because the problem where ministry should be the one to identify project, sign agreement, determine the cost of the project. At the end of the day, when the project is implemented, give a certificate of completion to the contractor, go to National Road Fund for you to be paid. And so, how the National Road Fund, which is just standing at the end of paying contractors based on certificate from the Ministry of Public Works, we gave the figure of 604,000 for Riverside, and then the Public Works Ministry report gave us 122,000. That is
Wow.
on the project.
Wow. Wow.
That was my source of protest, and I raised the red flag.
Can we hold you right there? I know you got. Can we hold you right there, please? It's interesting, Senator. This is an old story, but it's good that we can talk about it today. 604,000, but your county received 122,000. Is that correct?
The Public Works Ministry put it in their report, in its report for the same period that the work they did in Riverside when the press was about to visit the country during the country tour, the cost of the project was 122,000. The Public Works Ministry.
So, oh no, who was the minister at the time? Who was the minister at the time? Mabutu?
No, Ruth Foka Collins was acting. Mabutu has died at that time.
Okay, so it's Ruth. She was acting at the time,
yes,
and on this report. What? Yeah. Okay, let me ask you.
Yeah.
We are not that many here today. We're going to take our time, Senator. Librarian need to hear this. What did you do upon receiving the report? What did you do?
I immediately called a press conference, and I think I sent you the link copy of the Daily Hussein.
You stop calling the senator, man. Let the man talk, please. They're calling him again.
But I was carrying the story that I'm telling you. Sandra, are you getting me?
We can hear you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so
yeah, he's back on the line.
I called a press conference and I raised the red flag that The report from the National Road Service was a disservice, or the National Road Fund was a disservice to the people of River State. Considering the condition we are going through, my brother, you see responsible people are in that mud. Then you give me a report that has no impact in my county. And then during that press conference, I called for a comprehensive audit of the National Road Fund. A few months later, the General Auditing Commission initiated an audit. Whether it was in the pipeline and my request or my call was an other voice, fine. But at the end of the day, this was conducted. And the outcome of the audit is available. So nearly $8 million was in question. So there where we are.
So Senator, let's keep this in your county first. We'll talk about the $8 million in question due to the road fund. I'm begging you. We got a councilor back, Dr. Richardson. Liberians, listen to us. You are now on 3 Radio, Spoon FM, Super FM, and Fabric FM, Spoon TV, Super TV, Fabric TV, on our YouTube and the Instagram. We've been watched by thousands of Liberians, home and abroad. I want to ask you, please, Senator Smith. The people say they gave you all $604,000 for road. The report came back, it was $122,000. You had a press conference. You had a press conference, Senator Smith. Then everything, you stayed a senator though. What you and your colleague, because you guys are 2 from Riverside, what action you guys took? Just a press conference? What was the action? Just audit? What did you do thereafter? What's the result? What's the people buying us money?
One, I called for a comprehensive audit. 2, I wrote the plenary of the Senate, informing them that Riverside did not benefit from $604,000, which we did. But sometimes as the conversation goes on, I will tell you my own thinking about the country that we have.
My last question, Senator. My last question, because we got to be fast on this thing. Sorry, but you have your time to talk. You wrote the plenary, you wrote Buffer Chimmer. The pro tem, Abache, you wrote him. What did he do? You wrote Abache, you wrote the plenary. What was the outcome? The people want to know about the money now. They didn't do the job. Some of the money now went on an audit, we got our result, the report. Then what happened next? I want to hear something from you, Senator Smith.
We complained, the plenary, which was new in the country because the radio station picked it up, that I protested. I think the outcome was the announcement of the complaint.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Richardson, I finished my question.
Oh, so let's go to Councilor Lamy. Councilor Lamy, your questions, please.
Senator Smith, you just before you went off the line, you mentioned that the resolution that was discussed yesterday was a leadership decision.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Councilor. Let me take him from my ear because you were speaking to me, not to him. Hold on 1 minute. Let me get you off my ear. All right. Councilor, he can hear you now. Go ahead, sir.
So, Mr. Senator, welcome to this program. In your speech before you went off the line, before we lost you on the line, you mentioned that the resolution that was discussed yesterday about this road fund was a leadership decision. What do you mean when you say it was a leadership decision? Do you have a copy of that resolution? And can you tell us whether other senators, other than the people who constitute the leadership, signed that resolution also? And can you also tell the public what constitutes the leadership in the Senate? That's my first question.
Okay, there are certain committees in the Senate. The chairperson of those committees constitute the leadership of the Senate. And when the issue came, when we got to know that the Senate was the one that passed, okay, we go ahead, told the finance minister to use the National Road Fund to settle civil service salary. When we went to plenary and we asked the law on this issue, or Nyomli on this issue, or Senator Community Wisa on the issue, there were outcry in the sector. There was dissatisfaction expressed that such a great issue was not brought to the plenary to pass on it, but it was a leadership decision that reflected the overall decision of the Liberian Senate.
Are you there, Councillor? He's asking you.
Yeah. So I mean, when you say it was a leadership, so are you trying to tell us that there was no resolution that was signed, and the people who constitute these committees? Can you also tell us exactly who the committee members are? The people who constitute these committees that are on the leadership are the ones that sat together and said, "Mr. Finance Minister, go ahead and use the money to pay civil servant salaries." Did they sign any paperwork or so? And I'm also interested in knowing the discrepancy that you notice in Riverside on the road fund, the discrepancy between the Ministry of Public Works and the road fund organization. Was similar discrepancies also visible across the country? Because I'm kind of lost to, I don't think it would be normal that they will make mistake or they will do something like that in one county. It will not be replicated across the board. So, I mean, do you notice similar discrepancies?
Well, maybe it happened in other counties, but I could.
Stanton, you gone off the air too? Councilor, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It looks like we lost both of them. I don't know what happened. let me text and see. Sorry.
Okay, I think Council, you are live. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So, but is the senator still on?
Yes. We are trying to reconnect him.
So we were just asking the senator about the committee that constitutes the leadership, because he said there are certain committees that constitute the leadership of the Liberian Senate. He didn't specify which those committees are. So it will be good for him to, when he comes back on the line, to tell us what are those committees and who heads them, because he said the committee chairs of those committees will constitute the leadership. And we also asked him whether the resolution in question that we heard about, that we discussed yesterday, whether it was only signed by these committee members or whether it was signed by other senators. And it will also be good to know from the senator whether he has access to, I shouldn't say whether he has access to, he should have access to such a resolution, because he's a sitting member of the Senate. So there shouldn't be anything secret for him. Okay. So it will be good. Yeah, Mr. Okay. Senator?
The senator is back.
Mr. Senator?
Yeah, Councillor?
Yeah, so we were talking about the committee leadership.
But the phone went on hold.
Yeah, so did you get a question, or should I repeat it?
No, I got the question.
Okay.
And so I was telling you that I could not state the conditions or the work that the public works ministry did in other counties for X money to be paid. I could not speak to it because I don't know the level of intervention in the other counties. I was specifically speaking to the Riverside reality.
But Mr. Senator, if I may just interject a little, you have access to the whole report. So are you telling us that you're only interested in your county? I mean, I'm sure you're a senator of the Republic of Liberia, not necessarily a senator of just Riverside County, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that report, I'm sure, just as you notice some problem, discrepancy, that huge discrepancy, because that discrepancy is not a small discrepancy. You're talking about nearly $500,000 US, even probably, just about $500,000 US discrepancy just on one county. So, assuming that you still have access to the two reports, and you probably maybe can share it with us, is it possible for you to share it with us?
It's a public document. It's a public document.
Yeah, so it would be good to have those two reports and maybe any other subsequent report.
Okay, and let me answer something again. You're calling me back on his phone.
Yellow, your call is currently on hold. Please wait.
That's okay. I'm here. All right. It was mistake that I went off. I kicked everything off mistakenly. I'm here, Dr. Richardson.
The senator said he was answering your call.
Do you have the senator on the phone?
No, he's not.
Okay, Bar, do you have the senator on the phone?
No, he just left, but we are trying to reconnect with the
All right,
senator.
so that's my apology. I'm sorry. It was good that I have all the wire on here, and I kicked the wire. The whole thing went off. So, who called him? You want me to call him?
He said you were calling him, so he was dropping off here to answer your call.
Yeah, because Councilor Lamy had asked me a really, really good question.
Senator, I'm so sorry for the roughness tonight. I hope you can next time be in studio. I mistakenly kicked everything off my computer and we went off. But yeah, we are. You are live, Senator.
Okay, so I was saying, as Bagon said, to be honest with you, I did not check the other counties because when I saw the difference in the figures from the National Road Fund and the Public Works Ministry for Riverside County, I was so annoyed. But it is possible that it happens in the other areas because it is commonly said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Okay, so I will stop there with my two questions, and Dr. Richardson, you can take it back from me.
So, Senator, you said that they told you that they used the money to pay civil servants their salary. Do you believe that?
Well, let's address it holistically. Because I think it was Councilor Lamy or one of the panelists last night that talked about structural issue in the governance system of our country. Our country, from time immemorial, we run a presidential system. The president is everything. Once the president gives next sign to any issue, you will dig until you reach water. You can't go further. Everybody, our governance system, the president alone has power to appoint over 4,000 public servants. From ministers to deputies to assistants to to ambassador, to all the other senior staff at the embassies, to mayors, to superintendent, to development superintendent, and then the Supreme Court ruled a few years back giving additional appointment power to the president of mayors. So over 4,000 civil. So everybody working within the shadow of the presidency. Once you push and understand our own area. Our area is a policy issue. We don't have prosecutorial power. We don't have power to punish. A few months ago, Senator Vanny Sherman from Caymount discussed on the floor that there was a need for also an act or law giving us the power to cast votes of no confidence. Some of us appreciated it, but you know, the senator going for re-election, so he had been busy in his county. But it would be a very good thing if the Senate, on such a glaring issue, investigated and cast votes of no confidence in a minister. It will help our process.
I'm concerned that you have the power to call in the Ministry of Public Works and also other ministers associated with the National Road Fund. Did you call them in to investigate? I mean, that's, to me, it's almost like saying that I have a vote of no confidence in you after I investigate that you've done something wrong, and you can make a report and send that report to the president, to the press, to your leaders in the Senate. Will that not work?
You're talking reality, but it's not a show in Liberia, my sister.
Okay, tell us the show in Liberia.
Come here again.
I said, tell us the show in Liberia. I'm all ears.
The show is what we are discussing. The report was made. Red flag was raised. And it could not go beyond. It could not go beyond the complaint. That's the reality. It's an age-old governance reality in our country.
So that's what
Councilor Paco, please let go to Stenson that he turned to ask the two questions, and you ask.
Councilor, it looks like you want me out the show to talk to your senator or councilor.
No, you know, sometimes you get follow-ups. It's good to just bring it up quickly. So
go ahead, do your follow-up.
Yeah. So, Mr. Senator, you referenced that there was an audit done, and the audit report confirmed that these discrepancies happened. The Senate the legislature has the authority to refer things like that to the LECC. What happened? You know, why wasn't a referral done to have an LECC investigation also commenced to determine whether something criminal happened? Because it's possible people can spend money and they can report things differently. There could be some level of malfeasance that doesn't rise to the level of criminality. So, I mean, was there a referral done and that we do not know about? And if a referral done, what's the status of that referral presently to the LECC?
Councilor, you and I live in Liberia. A few weeks ago, you and I met at the Temple of Justice, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you that Liberia runs a presidential system. It is impeding the work of the legislature. Honestly, we have our own shortcomings. I cannot divulge the Senate from some of the issues that happen in the country. But we stand in the session, in the chamber of the Liberian Senate. You can make all the noise. You can call for prosecution, you can call for this. Once the presidency does not deem it necessary, it will not happen.
Wow.
It's the reality in our country. As a student of history and a political person that been in corridors of the country politics for a very long time, I can cite instances. That's the reality. So I think it was you last night that talked about redefining the governance structure or system. Because the system that we are running in this country, even you bring Angel Gabriel to be president, he will drown in it.
Sad.
So Senator, yes, ma'am. Should I go ahead?
Yeah,
go ahead, Mr.
Thank you. So Senator Smith, though, even if you bring Angel Gabriel with his white garment coming through the cloud like snow, all clean and white, you say you guys would turn him to be the worst ever devil in the town.
He will drown in the system. This system, it been on the ground before you and I were born, Stanton. Liberia runs a presidential system.
So, Senator,
Let me give you one classic example.
Go ahead, sir.
There are certain things that will happen in this country, and the government, the executive branch of the government that has the power to prosecute, they will find the resources, they will do everything to go after the person involved. And that same act can be carried on by somebody within the legs of the government or the regime. And the regime will turn blind eye to it. And find flimsy excuse.
But Senator, then should the Liberian people blame you, blame other lawmakers then? You have the power, though.
Amen. If you don't change the structure, Liberia has some of the best laws on the books, my brother. Some of the best laws on the books. The problem this country facing is not the scarcity of good laws. The problem the country facing is structural problem, is institutional problem. I have written several articles on it for Perspective website when I was exiled in Ghana.
Senator,
we as Liberians,
I understand you are making that argument. You are a sitting senator, sir.
Yeah.
What is your power? Are you telling Liberians tonight that you hold no power? You are powerless to the executive? You, Senator Delon, Youngbleed, George Borchard, and all the other opposition senators, are you confirming to Liberians that you guys are afraid of President George Manneh? We are in the executive, and you guys, we can consider you guys powerless right now?
No, I mean, Stanton, to be fair with you and this government, this problem I'm discussing precedes the government. Our power is to make the policy. Our power is to make the laws. It is the implementation of the law. It's the implementation of the law that get the state functioning. And there are discrepancies because of the system of governance we run. We had two opportunities and we missed them to carry on the necessary reform. Number one was 2003 when Judith Bryant came to power and the Accra Peace Accord barred him from contesting. We should have used that period to visit Liberia's governance system. But again, Liberia being Liberia, or Liberians being Liberian, when we call it the monkey play, when it is raining heavily the monkey will say, wow, I cannot live under such rain. By the time dry season comes, I'm going to build a house. When dry season comes, they're from tree to tree until another rainy season can come again. And so we had an opportunity to revisit the country because the sitting head of state at that time, Julie Bryant, was barred from contesting. So he had nothing to protect. The second opportunity we had that we missed was when President Ellen Sally was serving her second term. We should have used that. Even the local government act that she put so much energy into craft, I mean, it was almost a dead entity up to the time she herself left power. My brother, as a sitting senator and a known person in this country, I am appealing to Liberia. I'm appealing to Liberians for our country to move forward. Not devoid of President George Weah. When he came to power here 6 years ago, I'm talking about the kind of system that the country is interested in. We sit at the Capitol building, you make all the noise, you make all the policies, you make all the laws. Implementation is where we are. It is not a scarcity of good laws.
Are you tired of being senator? Since you have not been listening to a senator, are you tired of being representing your people? Because it seems that you're trying your best. Other lawmakers are trying their best, but this is with the executive. What's the cutting point? What's the end game here? I mean, will we continue with this forever? What are some of the interventions you can bring forth right now that we can have a turnaround, sir?
Okay. Thank you very much, Senator, for this particular question. Do you know what we should do as a country? We should make certain election issue. Let's get from Alexander Cummings, let him say clearly where he stands on reforming the governance system of Liberia. Let's get to Ambassador Joseph Walker. Let him tell us clearly. Not much you expect from President George Weah because when he wins this election, he will be going out. If he wins it, he will be going out. But again, let him give us his commitment that even if he wins this election, he will use his last term to help reform this country. And the issue you asked whether I sound tired of representation, no, but it is sometimes it is frustrating. It is frustrating. Ask Lamy, I've been in the vanguard of independent journalism in this country before reaching this far. So I know what I'm talking about. We have to reform this country. And it cannot be done at the mercy of somebody.
But Senator, my last question, I'm begging you. It is painful. Our folks are crying right now on the live feed. Why were you elected?
Hello, Senator?
Yes, my question,
Senator?
sir. Yes, my question to you.
Yeah.
Why the people of Riverside elected you? Why?
For us to raise some of the issues that we're talking about.
What are your three cabinet functions?
Because
I know you know your functions.
For a very long time, for a very long time, since the days of Adam, there are places in Riverside that Carter has not touched. And if we don't raise those issues, those places will remain like that until kingdom come.
But Senator, though, that's why my frustration. And you know the Bible. Sorry to interrupt you, but again, if you're making this argument, you there now, you the senator, you the people senator. Why are you not fighting? Your three cabinet functions are what? Why are you not implementing your function? Why we are not seeing that bloody fight in your pen and on the paper?
among the three functions, the lawmaking and the oversight, right, and the representation, it is what I'm saying these things. But when, even as I told you, it is not a scarcity of good policy in our country. It is not a scarcity of good laws on our
Senator, have you tried? Though it's not a scarcity, but have you tried? Have you rejected some of the line in the budget and say, I am not signing to this budget because, again, you will lie with this road fund money. You have taken 400 and change from Riverside. The people at Riverside are suffering. There's a place that you bring in your Michael, in your Gabriel, they will turn into black sheep. Have you fought the good fight, Senator?
Okay, fine. I even have video the last time we invited the finance minister during the budget hearing. And I don't know how to edit video to cut because the video can be long, but maybe I can send it to you. For you to do that, you have the technical know-how. For the Liberian people to listen to the conversation, to the engagement between the finance minister and myself. We are trying, but implementation is not with us.
So let me just say something, Mr. Senator, Senator Smith.
Yes.
You know, I got to know Senator Smith 26 years ago when Senator Smith was a Star Radio correspondent at the Capitol building. You know, as he said, he's a fighter. You know, press freedom warrior and all those things. And I can hear the pain in Senator Smith's voice when it comes to the level to which our country has sung and continue to sing. He's right about all the different problems. But one problem is that the legislators in this country do not realize that the most powerful branch of government is the legislature. They don't realize it. And the reason why the most powerful branch of the government is the legislature, there are two basic reasons. One, they decide how to allocate the country's resources. And that's the reason why you see today in America, there are all these debates about sometimes government shut down and then there's debt limit stuff and all that kind of stuff, because the Republicans know how to use that. Here, our legislators tend to think, when I started working for the legislature in 1997 during the Taylor government, the senators and representatives all say the government, the executive control the purse string. That's not true. Read the Constitution, Mr. Senator. Mr. Senator, tell your colleagues, you people should read the Constitution. The purse string in this country is controlled by the legislature. You people do not know how to use that power. That's the reason why we're in this state of malaise that we are in. It's true.
Chancellor?
Yes, Senator.
I'm not differing with you. The Constitution gave us power to appropriate. After appropriating the national purse, our branch of government is responsible to carry on the distribution. Our branch of government is responsible to implement whatsoever that we decide.
Mr. Senator, do you remember in 1997 when the finance minister, I think at the time the finance minister was who? Was it I've forgotten the name, but you remember when Councillor Bromsky was president pro tempore? We all used to go to the Senate chamber to cover the Senate hearings. You remember when Councillor Bromsky, that line of questioning that Councillor Bromsky had with the finance minister at the time, the very first budget that Mr. Taylor presented for passage, and Councillor Bromsky kept on asking the finance minister whether he knew that the budget was law. You remember that? I'm sure you were in the room that day. There was a reason why Councillor Bromsky pressed the finance minister on whether he knew whether the budget was law. And the reason is that
you want us to correct you on something, Councillor. Hold on, let him speak. I beg you.
Let me just use the word add and not to say correct. But let me add on to what you are saying.
Yeah.
When the legislature at that time, the Senate that Councillor Bromsky presided over, when they appropriated the money, the budget, the collection, The money was not in Central Bank, it was to Taylor's house.
Yeah. Notwithstanding, the point I'm trying to make, Mr. Senator, is that Councillor Bronsky pointed out the fact that the budget is low because of violation.
Councillor, he's still speaking, Councillor.
Yeah.
Councillor, did you ever hear that the legislature invited the finance minister to ask him why he was reporting the country money to Taylor's house?
No, they didn't. By that time, Bronsky was no longer there. But you must say no. But there's a point. I'm not saying that Taylor's government was an angelic government. That's not what I'm saying. I'm basically trying to say that you people have power and you people do not use it. That's my point. You don't use the power appropriately. The legislature is the same problem
that existed. It's the same problem that existed. Though today the country money is not going to president's house as it was during the Taylor regime, but the same expenditure issue with the presidency, with the executive, still persists.
And you seem to be saying that you can do nothing about it. And that's why I disagree with you, Mr. Senator. I disagree. Because the budget is low, and all these people, the president swears to protect and defend the laws, the constitution and laws of Liberia. So if his agents violate the law, that's an impeachable offense.
So let we are calling Senator DeLong. He's gonna contribute to this wonderful program. We are not on the road fund yet, sir, and I think we are, but we are not even on the drugs issue yet. Senator, I'm so sorry that you're not in studio with us. This is very interesting. We'll be calling Senator DeLong. Senator DeLong from Monserrado County. Is he on? James, is he on?
Yes, the senator is on.
Thank you. Senator Smith, please bear with us. You are also on. We added Senator DeLong today. Senator DeLong, I know you've been following us. Thank you. It's been a while since you joined Spoon, but it's good that we can get you away of the phone, and we hope to have you in studio pretty soon. The road fund, man, and that of the drugs issue, that's the conversation, Senator.
Well, thank you. Let me say good evening to your listeners in Liberia. And let me say good evening to my very esteemed colleague, Senator Jevon Smith of Riverside County. I say good evening to Councilor Lami Paco, Dr. Francine, all of you. Yes, I have been following the deliberations with my colleague. I just wanted to make a certain intervention. The raw fund issue, when the raw fund issue pop up, Senator Jevon Smith, like Senator Borja, Jonathan Supwe, and I think few of them were not in the Senate when a recast budget was passed in mid-2020, before the 2020 elections. But when it was uncovered through a GSC audit report that road fund money had been diverted without authority in violation of the road fund law, that was when the Minister of Finance came to the public on the radio and indicated falsely to the effect that the legislature granted him authority. And when we asked him the tough, hard questions, and then he picked it back on it and said that it was a consultation with certain members of the leadership of the both houses. And we insisted that the leadership of both houses don't make decisions for plenary, especially when the legislature is in session. Fast forward. When it was found that the legislature, we did not give the authority under the budget, I remember that very well. We insisted that it did not happen, and that Samuel Toye must be held accountable, and he should be held and forwarded to the Ministry of Justice for misapplication of the fund, because he had no authority under the budget. There was no law that granted him that authority. What was very disappointing when we continuously raised this issue on the floor, there was a Senate debate. And the Senate, disappointingly, After debating this issue, and we clearly proved that there was no such authority granted by law under the budget, the Senate in majority voted on the record. It's one of the reforms we took to the Senate for us to place ourselves on the record. The Senate voted on the record after debate. The videos are available. The vote record is available, and I will post it tomorrow on my Facebook page.
Thank you very much.
Can you name a few of the senators?
I was in Senate and I voted no on the record. Senator Nyombi Kanga Laurie was officially out of the country, so she could not vote because in keeping with the rules and the law, you must be physically present in session to vote. Steve Zago and Jonathan Kapi were out of the country on ECOWAS duty in Nigeria. Jonathan Sugwe abstained from the vote because he said he was not senator at the time, so he didn't have an understanding of the issue, so he abstained. Senator Smith is here. I think he either abstained or he voted. Come again?
Senator, I say at that time because Senator Samuel and myself agreed that we were just coming in and we could not make a definite decision.
Correct. I remember that. All other senators voted yes to clear Samuel Tuwe, and we placed ourselves on the record that that was wrong, and that the legislature has no authority. Thankfully, Councillor Labi Kwako is a lawyer. The legislature cannot absorb anybody of a criminal conduct. That authority is vested in the judiciary. It's a function of the judiciary. And we spoke to the media and the public and said that this matter will revisit this matter under a new government because a criminal conduct can only be absorbed of criminal conduct honored by the judiciary. It's not a function and authority of the legislature. But our road fund issue is troubling, and we will continue to hammer it. Thankfully, Senator Lawrence letter has brought it back on the floor. Especially for those who are not paying the road fund money, why, and all of this stuff. I just wanted to correct that aspect of the road fund issue.
Go to the talk. I'm begging you.
A function of the legislature.
Senator DeLong.
I would like to respectfully disagree with my colleague. The legislature has immense power. The president wants nominees. We can reject them. The president can do nothing. Because the functional power of the president is to nominate. The functional power of the Senate is to confirm or reject. Why do we have majority at times to reject people and the president can do nothing? Because we are exercising our function under the Constitution. Let me tell you something. We can compel the executive. To act, to implement the laws.
Yes.
We can compel the executive to act, to implement the laws. You know how? If you have 15 or 16 critical senators with courage, fine, to say, Mr. President, this Minister of Finance has sued us. Our confidence is no longer with this Minister of Finance. We are declaring vote of no confidence in this Minister of Finance. And in a spirit of coordination, you remove this Minister of Finance or else any other thing you want out of this Senate, you will not get it. And if you have the number to hold together, let's look right here let's look in America. Let's look in America. What's happening with budget ceiling and limit and their ceiling? The Republicans are holding their ground. The Congress holding its ground to the Republic. We as a Senate can compel the executive and officials of the executive to do their work. That is the oversight function. The oversight function cannot be effective when you have majority feeling that we can't do anything. In my view, that is disappointing.
Senator DeLong, as you say that, thank you very much. It's good that you are contributing on the show tonight. If you allow us to ask you a few questions while we have Senator Smith, and thank you for that.
Sure.
Thank you. I think Senator DeLong, I'd like to go back on the road front. Are you guys going to call all those that owe to this road funds? Are you guys going to call them? Do you have the power to do so? Businesses, individuals, and all those that are refusing to pay back their road funds money they took, any shape or form. What is the explanation here?
Satan?
Yes, sir.
Satan,
Yes, sir.
let me help you with this.
Okay.
As we are talking today, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 companies that are owing the government and the people of Liberia from the road funds $19.9 million.
Lord have mercy.
I'm quoting the 262
Go ahead, Senator. Go ahead. I will come after you.
annual report of the road fund.
Go ahead, Senator. We're listening.
19.9 million. Yeah.
So those companies, my question to Senator DeLon, thank you very much for calling the amount. Probably others are saying it's more than 19 million, but we can take 19.9, almost $20 million. Senator DeLon, are you guys going to call them? Call those CEOs, those managers, those corporations. They need to answer to the Liberian people. What would our Senator DeLon do thereafter, sir?
So these businesses are operating under the laws of Liberia, and we have agencies and institutions of government that should regulate these businesses and ensure that these businesses will comply with the law. And for instance, the Minister of Finance and the LRA people are the ones over whom we have oversight at this level to ask why the road fund money is not being collected. Is it that somebody or some group of people are in cahoots, or if the businesses are not paying, why? And if they are defaulting or defrauding the government in paying taxes, why is it that the Ministry of Justice or the relevant agencies of government not taking the appropriate actions either through court or compelling these institutions to pay? Why LRA, under the law and authority it has, is not taking certain actions either to ensure that these businesses are closed in keeping with law? These are the questions we can ask the authorities and entities of government on whose regulatory authority.
Delon, I beg you, Senator, I beg you. And forgive me.
Function to go collect taxes.
Yeah, but Senator,
The function authority to go collect taxes.
But
That
Senator,
is why we enacted the law to grant the authority onto the LRA, for instance.
But Senator,
we enacted the law.
can you hold the Senator for a minute?
The Minister of Justice and the Minister of Justice to prosecute people who are defrauding in tax payment or evading tax payment. It is the functionaries of government through these entities of government that we have oversight authority.
Senator?
The Constitution is clear that matters that do not belong before the legislature, that are connectable before the court, should not be entertained. So we are not in the business to be dragging business owners and business the representatives of government, the agencies of government, the functionaries of government that are supposed to ensure compliance on part of the businesses to pay their fair share of the taxes. Those are those authorities we have authority over to, in keeping with our oversight function, and those are the ones we are summoning.
Okay, Senator.
The body. Yeah, go ahead.
Senator, I'm very sorry that maybe you are not hearing us, but it's very interesting because some of our followers, they are asking you the question. You gave an example of America. In America, they will call all those business people for hearing. They will call them. With this kind of issue, you have Elon Musk, you have
regulatory issues on the issues of the law. Whether the legislature or whether Congress need to pass more tighter laws for regulation or losing a bit on regulation and all that stuff. Where it calls in the national security interest of America, Congress will call. But ordinary business that is not paying taxes, the regular arm of government that is supposed to collect the taxes are the ones that will appear before the legislature for us to know why they are not collecting the taxes. And these hearings can determine whether people in the executive are equal with these businesses, or whether people in the executive are derelict in their function to prosecute people for defrauding or evading payment of taxes.
Thank you, Senator Dillon. Go ahead. Let me ask my one question to Senator Smith. Then you guys can come in. Senator Dillon, please don't go. I want to bring in your colleagues real quick. Senator Smith, we went about, and thank God that Dillon is here to clarify some of this issue. The fact of the matter is that the road fund, you name 8 to 9 companies, corporation. You're saying $19.9 million. Somebody say it's $22.2 million. I saw the $22.2 million. Now, for your people, for your county, River says, they chop almost $400,000 from the road fund money. What's your message? What's your message now? You say you went to plenary. You fought a good fight. Yeah, we are. Nothing came out of it. We are going towards election. Talk to your people real quick, and we will bring in Senator Dillon for the rest of the guys to ask the question.
Well, again, I'm maintaining what I was saying. When laws are violated, when wrongdoings are glaring and established, the branch of government, we can raise the issue based on the policy and the laws on the books. But to apprehend anybody for offending the law is the executive branch of government. I can make all the noise in plenary, in the session. Do I have the power to go and drag the National Road Fund to court? No. I've been very frank. As a senator, our work is to raise the issue.
I agree with my colleague. I agree with my colleague.
Laws are not implemented. When laws are not implemented,
one senator doesn't have the singular power to do such. What my colleague Dillon is saying, you have the power to say that the final minister going wrong, this person going wrong, that person going wrong, but to execute the implementation of the law for the wrong that been committed is with the presidency, is with the executive.
Thank you, Senator Smith. Thank you. We got Senator Smith and Senator Dillon. Post your question to which one of them, please.
There seems to be a very serious problem.
Let Dr. Richardson go real quick. She's been quiet, okay. Councilor.
Sure. Yeah. Senator Dillon, my question is to you, or maybe my comment is to you. This is a huge task that I believe need to start with your colleagues, the senators who voted to authorize this fund. What are you going to do about them? And then I think that then we move on to calling the ministers who misappropriated the funds. And of course, those ministers probably got the president to sign off on them misappropriating the funds, or maybe he didn't know, but that's what you have, this investigation. And of course, lastly, the companies who are not paying the money to the Liberian government or to the Liberian people. So how do you think that you're going to address? It's a huge problem. Do you have a strategy to address this?
Okay, let me
yes, Senator Smith. Senator Smith, she referred to Senator Dillon. Please hold on 1 minute, please.
To someone before it, the agency of government responsible to collect and enforce tax payment. And questions can be asked as to why a business entity is not paying taxes and still operating. The answers can determine a further action by the legislature. For instance, if we summon the Minister of of Finance and the LRA ahead, and they come and we ask them why Company A is not paying taxes, and they explain, and the explanation probably does not make sense to the legislative body. We can order them to go ensure that that tax is paid, is collected, especially in areas when the business entity is still operating. A Congress investigation can also uncover whether the authorities of government will be in cahoot with a business entity for which that business entity is not paying taxes. We can also take a resolution vote to get the Minister of Justice to take the appropriate action to take defaulters or evader of taxes or tax payment to court. And if the minister fails to act, especially if investigation uncovers that is a cahoot, and if the Minister of Justice or the appropriate authority agency that's supposed to act fails to act, that's when the legislative oversight authority comes in. And how is it effective? Legislative oversight authority only effective when you have the number that has courage to stand up. Let me be practical with an example. For once, we stood up with a majority and said, Wabodeki will have to leave government. We kept hammering that. We kept pounding that until we managed to get the majority. The president was compelled to withdraw Wabodeki from government. That's legislative oversight authority being exercised when you have the number to stand up. We have the number to say we reject Zolizo going to Ministry of Defense. We rejected him. We had a number when we rejected the nominee that was nominated to head the RRA. So when legislative oversight power can only be active, penetrating, and forceful when you have the number. But when we drop the ball on the number, that's when the executive can come across as being overly powerful. The executive is powerful too, but the legislature is more powerful than the executive, but it can only take effect when you have the number. The number can compel the president to comply.
Yes.
The number can compel the president to comply.
Senator Taylor, I wholeheartedly agree with you that you have to have the numbers to be effective, because you just stated how disappointed, and so am I, that there were colleagues of yours who voted to authorize the fund to Minister Twe to use for public servant salary. So do you have any hope that they're going to comply now with you to call that the companies who are not paying funds to the Liberian people? Do you have any hope that their colleagues will vote with you?
Well, so I'm cautiously hopeful, especially with the latest political shift and dynamic in the country that's having some effect at the Senate. Say, for instance, when we were looking for votes, our small number, we did not have Jeremiah Poon vote. We did not have Prince Johnson's vote. We did not have James Barney's vote. We were not very sure of G. Bond's vote, because he has always been an independent person. He decides what's good for his county and the country independently, and I respect that. We did not have few votes that have been added to us that we at least can be sure of going forward, hopefully. That is why I said I am cautiously optimistic that the number can now increase, that even if the legislature that pass on a vote to clear Samuel Twe of illegal transfer of road fund money to salary payment, which has not been proven, it does not still mean that the legislature cannot stamp its foot to say, why are businesses not paying into the road fund money, road fund account, when they are still doing business? What happened to the promissory note? What happened to the installment plan? Why are they not paying? And if they are not paying for no justifiable reason to convince the Senate then the Senate can take a vote to compel to have the Minister of Justice to take the appropriate action through the court. You got the death court, you got the other criminal court as deemed by the Minister of Justice to take business entities to court for non-compliance in tax payment. It can only happen if you have the number in the Senate. And that is why I said I am cautiously optimistic now, especially with the new political arrangement in the country, where we believe we got some number now that we can stand on the floor to fight these things. And that is why, thankfully, Senator Lawrence has raised this issue. The Senate is received of it. We talk about the drug issue, the $100 million drug case. We are seized of it already on my communication. And that is why I'm getting a little more upbeat that hopefully we can see some things will take shape so that the legislature can start to give hope to the country. It is because we are weak in majority. And sometimes I say spineless, some people don't like it, but it is because of that. So the country, and who can blame the people? The legislature should even be dissolved. Somebody come and say, well, Joseph Walker, when he might dissolve the legislature. No, just because one dentist failed to do a good job on your teeth that's hiding, does not mean you should take your tooth pain to a carpenter to do the job. You just find another country. Once you have the right kind of people, you have the number with the character and the courage to do what is right, what is best, what is good for the country. You even think that the legislature should go on the country.
So, Senator, I'm going to play devil's advocate for
Stevia, though. If you will take us for Stevia, just
no, but my question is to the senator.
Senator Dillon? Okay.
Senator, I'm kind of concerned because you're now saying that we have a political shift in the country where certain people like Bonnie and Kuhn will now support your effort to give the Liberian people money back from the companies that owe them. Is this a political thing or is it seriously in the interest of the Liberian people? Because I'm surprised that in the first place, those people didn't vote along with you. Now, I mean, we see that they're not supporting the current government. They're supporting, to some extent, Kuhn is supporting Joseph Boakai. You call his name. Now he's going to align with you. So what do you make of that?
Well, somehow we're getting the number. I'm happy.
Oh, okay.
I'm always looking for salt that are willing to change to poor. When people buy and they want to be good, we should encourage them. Then the country will change. Every time we beat on people who are bad and they want to change, and we say they should not change, the country will never change. So if we never had the votes before because of their political persuasions at the time, now that we are beginning to have the votes, I will encourage even more of it for the good of the country.
I agree.
For instance, my dear, can we pass a budget of over 778 million, and the country can only talk about a $65 million allotted to the legislature? I still think it is high. Yes, it's true, we can reduce it. It will reduce our salary in keeping with my bill on the floor. But how come is it that the country is not talking about 713 million that we have appropriated to other agencies and entities of government to run the country and empower our people to develop the other sectors? How is it that the country is only talking about the legislative aspect of the budget and not talking about the balance of the major chunk of over 700 million that goes to executive institutions for roads, for agriculture, for health? It's because we dropped the ball on our side. The three functions of lawmakers, which can be clearly stated or rehearsed and repeated and recited by even the ABC students, the lawmaking, oversight, and representation. We don't make law every day, but every day there's a need for oversight to balance the government, to check and balance the government. Every day there's need, and once we drop the ball on our side, lawmaking looks meaningless because you can pass all the laws like Makoni said. Once oversight is not strong, oversight function is not strong to ensure enforcement and implementation, you can make all the laws that can cover the lands of Liberia. Once the legislature drop the ball on oversight function, authority,
We have to bring in Senator Smith.
So
They don't hold on 1 minute. Senator Smith, can you address some of the questions?
Can I ask a question to both of them?
Yes, you will, but I won't give Senator Smith the chance to speak on some of the issues.
Yes. First, the money in question that the petroleum importers owed the country is not taxes that they should pay. What is going on is broad day robbery from the country.
It's true.
Read the National Road Funds Act. If you bring your petroleum products, I'm using this as an example, Senator. If you bring your petroleum product and you're supposed to sell a gallon of gas, $3.75 US. The law says the country authorized you to add 25 cents there. That 25 cents is not your taxes, it's not your profit. It is for the country to put aside to the issues of roads in the country. So if you are not reporting that 25 cents, you are stealing from the country. And there where the executive that has the enforcement power is not monitoring, is not nurturing the courage to go after them. You are stealing from the country. It's already like tonight, I'm talking to you from home because I don't have city power. I buy 3 gallons of diesel every day. And so it means that every day I give 75 US cents to the National Road Funds every day. And if somebody is not, the company is not giving it to the government, it's proceeding from the country. I don't know why the government cannot muster the courage to go after those companies. Especially the executive that has the power. That's what we are saying.
Well, that's what I like to talk Dillon too. But let me bring in Councilor Parkour because Dillon on this one. That I know you guys. Councilor, go ahead before I bring in Dillon.
Yeah, I live when the senator said the source changing to poor. I hope those poors do not get back to source. Because the reason why they were sourced in the first place is most likely because of money and power, and then they want to shift it so they became source. Pretty soon they will go back to being poor, probably.
Yes.
But do these senators see this as an opportunity to try to tighten the noose week law-wise on the collection of these funds? Because I think there's an opportunity here for us to do some legal reform.
Sorry, Councilor. Why the studio can call the senator?
I think it is his phone, so he restarted the call back.
Okay, go ahead,
So
Councilor.
he most likely listening, right? So is Senator Smith still on?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So do they see this as an opportunity to institute law reform measures that will help to tighten the noose around this situation that we have? Because there are basically two things. One, Senator Smith just talked about robbery, that if people take the money, it's not tax. I agree with him, it's not tax. That the companies are required to pay on their business operation. It is money that they are required to withhold. So it's like the land law. Our law has shifted the burden on landlords who rent their properties to withhold income tax from the rent and pay it to government. So if those landlords decide that they will not pay the income tax, it's really no different from what those companies are doing. So is there a way to tighten that noose? Because there may be possible criminality happening there. And there's also a possibility of a civil wrong. Regardless of what it is, whether it's civil wrong or criminality, there are possibilities or statutes of limitation kicking in to stop people from paying some of these monies. So is there an opportunity?
He answering you, Councilor. That is Senator answering you.
Yes, Senator Smith.
Yeah, Councilor.
The senator is back and he's good now.
Yeah, Senator Smith, you go ahead first.
There is a way. What we can do, and the discussion, maybe let's elevate it for it to reach the flow of the Senate or the legislature. That if you bring, for instance, if you bring 1 million gallons of petroleum products in the country, that 1 million gallons, 25 cents in my elementary calculation will be about 250,000. You have to pay the $250,000 upfront before you carry your product and put it on the market, because the 25 cents will. But if we say that they should sell before they give our 25 cents, that why they're taking advantage of the system and they're not reporting the 25 cents. It is not for them, it is for the people of Liberia. So why they are not reporting it? It has nothing to do with their business money. It was enacted into law that the product you come in to sell, please add 25 cents there for us to do this. So why are you collecting the money and you're not reporting it? So maybe we can go back to the law and say that this quantity of product that you brought for sale, give the amount of 25 cents that we have to receive from there based on experience. Give the money before you can put your product out. How I see it.
So let's go to Senator DeLong. Thank you, Senator Smith.
Did Senator DeLong get the question I asked? My question basically is,
let him come up. Probably he did.
I mean, you can ask the question again.
So my question is, do you people see a law reform opportunity here in order to plug these loopholes that appears to exist in this process? Do you see a law reform, possibility?
Because there's always need for reform. There is always opportunity for reform. But quite frankly, and I got to be honest with you, my brother, the law as it is, the law says on the reform law, for instance, the law is deliberate, the law is purposeful, the law says any money collected in the name of road fund will only be for roads. Road construction, bridges, anything that has to do with roads. You cannot divert that money to any other thing. To do so is a violation of that law, punishable by law. When the legislature accepts aids and abets the violation of that law by voting to clear Samuel 12 of the violation, it is a problem. And that problem must be corrected. That is what I'm saying. If this regime that is in violation of that law, aided and abetted by the legislature, cannot fix it, cannot or correct it, then a new administration will have to muster the courage, because the statute of limitation on misapplication of entrusted property, money is collected in the name of the government. Public money is public property. Anybody who uses it outside of the law can be punished under the law. A new administration can wake that matter up if it has not passed a statute of limitation for punishment. A new administration can wake that thing up and punish those who violated. But meanwhile, the law as it is now, Councillor Lami Pago, is not weak. It is the implementation thereof. So the first thing that we need to reform in this country, especially among us, and I'm deliberately saying us, the public officials, is a reform of our minds towards public service. A reform of our minds and ourselves towards public service. And for us to know our individual and respective functions and the authority assigned thereto. The legislature cannot be weak unless lawmakers in majority are weak. The legislature is strong. It is given teeth to bite, both by the Constitution and statutory laws of Liberia. When we fail to do proper oversight, that's when it can appear that the laws that we pass are out of week or non-existent. For instance, we have laws against rape. We have laws against murder. People still murdering. Are the laws weak? Or we who are supposed to implement the laws are weak or not enforcing the law? When we have that kind of situation, there is when it can appear that out of the existing law is out of week or probably not even existing. So to answer your question in short, I am of the opinion that we must first reform our minds towards public service, know our function and the authority granted thereto. I cannot be a lawmaker and say the legislature is weak. No, we are weak in majority because if we are strong in majority, the executive will conform. Can you imagine a Senate of 15 or 16 courageous lawmakers summoning the Minister of Finance next week? The entire week he will worry. Can you imagine a Senate of 15 or 16 or more strong, well, I mean strong in character and courage, just to ensure that the right thing is done? Summon the Minister of Agriculture for us to know what happened to the agricultural sector. That minister will worry just by the announcement that he or she has been summoned. Right. Just imagine when we had the number of happening to revenue generation. How is it possible that the LRA, the Revenue Authority, will report to the Republic that revenue is performing in terms of collection? But when it comes to the expenditure, time to do goods and services across government, time to pay salary, there's no money. Something must be wrong.
Yeah, ask you a question.
Revenue is performing, then expenditure must go alongside. If that is not happening, that should call the legislature into action.
James,
and we can demand that the president will act.
Senator Dillon.
Senator Dillon. That say, Mr. President, remove the Minister of Finance, or else your budget will not pass. Or else any other nominee you say here will put it down without confirming that person. Or tell you remove that one minister because he or she has lost our confidence.
Senator.
That's oversight. That's oversight with normal and courage.
They want to ask you a question, Senator. They are asking you questions, Senator.
Senator Dillon, real quick, this question is one of our, and the question goes to you and Senator Smith. The Councilor Good, Lafayette Good, Sion, let me post his question, his comment, and I would like you guys to address it. He's saying that we should hold all those lawmakers who aided and abetted the misuse of the road funds for tracing under Article 76, paragraph 5 of the Constitution of Liberia. What say you? Senator Dillon, briefly, you go first, and we'll come to Senator Smith.
What was the question? You were fast about it.
Okay, so he's saying, there's a comment he's making. We should hold all those lawmakers who aided and abetted the misuse of the road fund for tracing under Article 76, paragraph 5 of the Constitution of Liberia.
So under Article 76 of the Constitution, it has to do with treason, if I'm correct. Treason is not just taking gun to remove a government, But any act that is done to undermine the Constitution and other stuff is also a treasonable offense. So I can understand where the councillor is coming from. I will have to study that aspect to appropriately respond.
So Senator Smith, can you come in? Then we can ask you guys for your closing. It's been a wonderful time with you guys.
No. The issue Councillor Gould raised, fine. But equally so, there is a constitutional provision that says that anything a legislator does or says in plenary should be considered privileged. So we have to carry on the reconciliation before we carry on the charges.
But apart from that, I don't think that amounts to treason, you know. So we have to be careful how we just throw laws at issues. I don't think
that's why we're asking these senators, Councillor Bako, because they are the lawmakers right now. We have them, and we ask them the question that is raised by one of our followers.
When a lawmaker takes a vote, function, even if the vote is deemed to be wrong, it's Article 44 of the Constitution, or Article 42 to be specific. It says that that action is privileged if that vote is taken in line with his function. But if in taking that vote, proof can be shown that that vote was engineered and compromised by some consideration in violation of the law, you can prosecute that lawmaker for taking that vote that was done under some consideration in violation of the law.
I mean, that would be a slippery slope, right? Because obviously you have a situation like that ending up at the Supreme Court, and then there will have to be an interpretation of the law to determine whether that interpretation that the senator just provided, you know, should stand. You know, that would be a very dicey thing to go and try prosecuting. But similarly to what happened with the Janet situation, Janet took an action as part of his judicial duties, and the law protects that. Yeah. But yet and still, the legislature decided that they would impeach him for doing his judicial work. So, you know, it's a kind of dicey situation. It's a slippery slope. There are many laws that there are many things in our criminal law that we can use to deal with this issue. And one of the reasons why I asked the senators whether this is an opportunity for law reform on this issue. Not necessarily as Senator Dillon was answering the question, not necessarily around whether someone should abide by the road fund law or not. But there are other actions that are being taken that border on criminality or civil wrong. So is there a room for reform? Say, for example, looking at the statute of limitation around this road fund money. Can there be a reform of the law when it comes to statute of limitation for road fund money, whether it's civil or criminal? You know, so whether that opportunity for law reform is there. That's the reason why I asked the question.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That makes sense, and I agree with you. We'll have to look in that direction. I agree with you for it.
Senator Dillon, Senator Smith, we want to say thank you. Senator Dillon, you go first. I know we didn't touch the drugs issue, but we'll be having you next week, by God's grace, to really talk about this issue. But if you can briefly tell us, where are you with this $140 million drugs issue? Those guys left the country. We are hearing Mossadegh is frustrated. He confused. The judiciary system have let Liberians down. Talk to us, Senator Dillon. You go first on this thing.
Okay, so the Senate is seized of this matter, and I'm a member of the Judiciary Committee of the Senate, as well as the Committee on Security, Defense, Intelligence, and Veterans Affairs. These two committees are charged to summon these officials of government, the Minister of Justice, and other related state security authorities for us to find out what went wrong and what other steps we can take for us to bust a $100 million drug cocaine in our country from a company. And within a week, another $40 million from the same company. And this company is now understand as a defendant, We need some answers. And so since the Senate is seized of this matter on my communication, I will not make any public statement or opinion on it because I will be sitting on this matter in the Senate. As the time goes by, I will give update and briefing to the public. And these hearings with the Minister of Justice and other state security people regarding this drug issue will be public. The public hearing will be public. And we'll speak to that through the hearing, and then we will recommend the appropriate actions to the full body for the appropriate actions to be taken.
Thank you, Senator DeLong, and have a wonderful night. I know we arranged for your parents on Spoon Talk next week, but I want to say thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Senator Smith, you want to answer the question and do your closing, sir?
Briefly on the drugs issue. The mask on the face of the intent to free the people was not properly fixed. You can squarely see what inside. That is what I'm saying, that implementation of laws in the country is the problem. Are you telling me through the court that the drugs brought themselves here? In the Bill of Rights of the Republic, that the $100 million worth of drugs they brought themselves here? I mean, is that what you are telling me? A more responsible. Is it a legislator again? This all-powerful presidential system we have, because everybody in the circle wants to have the better side of the president. Whatsoever excesses that they will be committing lies within the relationship with they and the president. That's Liberia's problem. Liberia's issue problem. The state security of this country cannot tell me. Because, Senator, I beg you a minute. Look, there was an incident at Vamuma. I was going to work. At that time, I was not senator yet. And I was going to town. And the taxi I was in took the the left side, coming from the former president way. Before we could reach the police at Vamuma, the taxi driver knew that the police had spotted him. He took the right side and the extreme right, branching in SE way. And so before the police would get to him, he jumped the FE road. He carried on straight, the FE shocker passing in front of Manimo Baptist Church. He took that road and we went straight down to Fiama. When we got to 19th Street, he decided to come back on the road, thinking that he finished beating the whole security network. And so when the Tesla was touching the main road, he has to slow down to look left again to make sure that no car was closer to him before he gets on the road. When he looked right, the very police officer that spotted him from distance that he ran from the policeman was standing there waiting for him. So our security knew exactly what to do. It's just that because of some interest that they can overlook certain things in the country at the detriment of the country, simply because implementation at the level, at the power that should implement, because it is not there. But our security knows what to do. If they are telling us that they over $1 million, $100 million worth of drugs, war from whatsoever outer space and landed in Liberia on its own, then this too is Liberia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, we want to say thank you for joining us. We hope to see you in studio someday, man. Thank you. Very interesting. Yes, sir. Have a good night. All right. Folks, Senator DeLong, Senator Smith, a wonderful conversation. Next week, we'll be bringing Senator DeLong in studio after these different hearings, and we'll be having a full interview with the Montserrat Senator Abraham Darius DeLong. I want to say thank you for joining us, Dr. Richardson. Thanks a lot. Again, summertime is busy in this country. People got to do what they got to do, but Spoon Talk here to stay. Spoon Talk here to give you the information that you so deserve. Two things on the table right now. If it is not election, it's the drugs and the road fund money. Who got the Liberian people road fund money? Which corporation? We have the list of those companies that took the Liberian people road fund money and enriching themselves. And after the hearing, we will dig deeper into this situation, and Spoon Talk would bring back to you those information. Councillor Lamin Bako, thank you. Tomorrow will be John on the show. Daniel Sando, Mo Ali, Eugene Fagon, Remy Gray, Fadika, the entire team, Salamatu, Dr. Richardson, Councillor Lamin Bako. Everybody coming to talk politics tomorrow. What is on your mind? That's the topic for. I believe also we'll be having the councillor we invited, Lafayette Good. We'll be having him. I hope he can come in studio tomorrow likewise. It will be very interesting. Join us and let's have a wonderful conversation. Dr. Richardson, I told you supposed to be off today. What happened? Dr. Richardson, they're working here also.
Isn't hearing you. Stanton, can I just make a correction? You know, one of the listeners, Bob and Johnson, corrected me on something, and I think I should be man enough to agree with him. I wrongly stated that it is the landlord that will withhold. It's not true. It is the tenant that will withhold and pay to the government. So, Bob, sorry for that error. Thank you for the correction.
Thank you very much. And I will share this with you guys. The road for money. When Senator came and said he had authorization, those senators that didn't sign, we have the signing sheet here.
Okay.
Surprisingly to you, and like Delon said, Youngbley didn't sign. She was absent this year. Sir Joseph signed, his signature is here. Senator Jonathan Carpe, absent. You have Edwin Melvin Snow, absent. James Bennett, this is blank. Absent was J. Emmanuel Nukwe sign. Darius DeLong didn't sign. But I want to just make sure on this one, Jeremiah Kuhn didn't sign. If this, I haven't the sheet here and we verified this because Sandro Daniel bringing it. Jeremiah Kuhn didn't sign, DeLong didn't sign, Youngbley didn't sign, and those other folks that signed, we're going to be reading their names tomorrow. That gave Samuel Tway the power to eat the road for money, as the allegation goes. Who authorized him to use the money? You know, that was a big thing in the country. We have it. We're going to discuss it with you tomorrow, folks. As tired as we are blessed to be in your present. We are blessed to talk to you. We are blessed to share this wonderful evening with you. We know the internet can hit us, but we are good. Again, we want to say thanks to the CEO, Madam Titi Kanen, the management team, and all the great panelists we have on Spoon Talk. Man, I cannot take a phone call. I'm so tired. I got to go home. Dr. Richardson?
I think I got to do that too.
Yes, man. Today is going to be a laid-back Wednesday. People, we beg you guys. Wait for tomorrow. It will be crazy tomorrow. Fagon will be here tomorrow. You know him, and the rest of the team will be here. Wait for tomorrow. We'll take your question, and we'll put fire inside. But today, allow us to live in one piece. With 10 minutes to go, let's do our closing, folks. Dr. Richardson, you want to go ahead, man?
No, I was going to say that, you know, this is a huge problem, you know, that Senator Dillon recognized. It's a problem that starts, for me, it starts, you know, with the senators. And then, of course, it goes on to the executive branch. And, of course, then it goes out to the companies. But, you know, I was looking at the budget line, and it's no secret that the legislatures, they get $10,000. And also I saw that there's $1.2 million in the budget for, I believe, is a legislative grant under the pro temp budget. So I'm wondering if it could be established that this money is used to persuade this legislature to vote a certain way by the executive branch. If that's the case, then their vote has been compromised, and it's not in the best interest of the Liberian people, especially when civil servants have not been paid for months. Yeah, they are voting for them to get a certain amount of money. So I think this is this reform that we need got to start from both branches, in fact, all branches of the government. So that's what I wanted to say.
Councillor?
Yeah, and I will close by saying that it was an interesting night tonight. Senator Smith says some really, really interesting things. And I think basically Senator Smith made a case for someone like Councillor Gonglo, becoming leader in this country. He mentioned the fact that there's this imperial presidency that continues to exist that has to go away. Even though I don't really buy the excuse that they are not doing their jobs because of the imperial presidency, they have the power. And as Senator Dillon said, if you have more of those swords converting to paws, they will probably maybe have the kind of strength to make sure that the executive is brought to its knees and the executive behaves properly. So we need to, Liberian people out there, thousands of people watch this show every night. I'm sure thousands more of them listen to the different radio stations that carry the program. They have to be in a position now to take decisions that will help this country going forward. I will just close by last day by pointing to something that Tugbe wrote. Tugbe, I don't know whether he's still in the CDC, but he wrote something on a chat this evening. I was kind of surprised. He said the CDC and the UP are not the best alternatives for this country. Tugbe may be right. So Liberian people out there, you got to think about your future. In a few short months, we'll be going to elections. The problem in this country are ingrained. I told people in Lofa the other time that they say when you have a bad soul, you need strong medicine. Some of the strongest medicines that we have on the scene right now, they are not the two group of people who are ruling the country before or ruling the country presently. We got to look elsewhere. Thank you very much.
Councillor, again, I know you will be with us tomorrow, you and Dr. Richardson, but it was very interesting conversation. As she said this, I never had a quiet night like I did today. With all the glitches situation, the problem, kicking the wire over here, some strange things were happening. But we managed to land successfully. Now we can deplane and then get the heck out of here. We appreciate Senator Smith, Wellington Smith, and that of Senator Abraham Darius DeLon. This is going to be rough. I should say this to all Liberians out there. It will be crazy. I'm telling you, because the people money, you guys got to give full disclosure as to who took the money. Why are they giving it the time to spend the people money? It's the government involved. And all the speculations and allegations, we can ask a clean, fair question. Why Senator know about this money? Why some folks are not paying back the money? And some of them are boasting and say they won't pay the money because they're in position not to pay the money. Why have the president not spoken? Because I'm surprised you didn't ask that question. If the president,
people are not here. To ask that question, don't ask that question to the senators. Ask the question to the president's people.
No, I'm asking you. You are the president people. You are Liberian. You are the president people.
No, when I say the president people, I'm talking about his political people and the people who should be speaking for him.
Who the president people? Is that Fagon? Fagon speaking for the president now?
Fagon and
I'm not looking at you, I'm Fagon, but I'm thinking you are.
No, Fagon is UP man. Everybody knows Fagon to be UP man.
Fagon is UP man.
Yeah, Fagon is a UP man. It's clear. You can hear him talking. I know he will come tomorrow and start talking about what I'm saying now.
I'm glad you know that.
I know he's going to. I know the war is going to start tomorrow from this particular part, but it's clear. I don't think Fagon will want to deny that he's UP. The same thing with
I don't think Fagon is a UP man. Fagon supports he's not a UP man.
Was he all the time saying that he's CDC? So maybe he can talk for them too. But it would be good to have the president people in. to talk, to see what actually happened. It will not hurt to ask the finance minister to come in also and discuss it. The speaker of the house, the president pro tempore, the vice president, all those people are in the leadership of the legislature.
The manager of the road fund.
Yeah, it's the manager of the road front. Yeah, your friend. You said he was calling you the other time, so you should probably have him.
Boniface is not in there no more. That's the lady.
Yeah, but he has institutional knowledge.
He will not speak on this thing, my man. The man stay in Liberia.
Oh, okay.
Speak on this thing. I man will speak after the election. The man will speak after the election.
Boniface people no longer there.
And I just find it interesting that you can sort of use money, public money, and then once you get out of the position, nobody can call you back or question you or even hold you accountable. I find that interesting.
But Dr. Richardson, you know what that happens in this country? It happens because the people who replace them want to do the same thing. So it will be hypocritical for them to take action against their predecessors. That's the reason why they don't do it.
Makes sense.
That's the reason why they don't do it.
So I should say my own now. All you guys are just talking. I just want to close with this, fellow Liberians. Please bear with me. It is important to know. And I'm going to get in trouble because I know it's time to go home. Let me get in trouble. It's just important to know that you sacrifice and say you want to be a leader for the country, but you cannot do for your people till you get in power. I think it is wrong. We started the conversation, and I want to end with it with 4 more minutes left. I know that Richardson going to come on my throat. That's okay. I like to see the best for Liberians. I like to go above and beyond. Say what you want to say about Stanton. That's me. I desire no position in the country. I'm not seeking one, but I just like to fight for the people of Liberia. This is very, very sad. Folks receiving what they can receive from this government to cover up the story, to hide. People are plotting. They are playing witchcraft behavior just to shut other good people up. But Liberia deserves better. I would say I don't know whether if I'm going to have joined UP, I know he's supporting Joseph Boakai. So consider Bako, we got to set it straight. He is not a member of UP, but he's a Joseph Boakai supporter.
I stand corrected.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because I don't want him to come back tomorrow and get in your throat. You know what I mean? That guy is a bad dude. So, but I want to say I appreciate every one of you for making this a great program. Liberia deserves better. Again, we were announced the 27th, free announcement. CPP will be having the program. Sharon Bronskin is the person joining Mr. Cummings. Tomorrow we have the councilor on the show. A great conversation tomorrow. Joseph Yema Boakai people will come make his case for him. Cummings people will make the case for him. Tewon Gonglo, you know the councilor is here. Madela Cooper, we don't know where she is and her representative. Mr. Freeman, we're still waiting for his representative. Who else out there? I don't know who all the other key players are out there, but it's going to be a great conversation, folks. You need a better Liberia. Things need to change. With 4.5 more months to go, if Joshua can turn it around, fine. Do you think he can turn it around? That's the question we're asking you.
God has not developed that miracle yet.
I'm not going to say you right because when it rains, your bucket can get full that made you full in 24 hours.
America has not been invented yet, Stanton.
It's probably not. George Manawia, man, I don't know whether he's tired. I don't think, my question I will ask Liberian people, you really think that George Manawia want to be president again? For me, I don't think so, though. I really believe that he's tired with this thing. I really believe that President Weah is so tired. The only people that pushing him now are Samuel Tway and all of them pushing him. Say, Baku, you got to run. You can't leave her hanging. I think that's what's happening. You get 1 more minute where you consider. Give me the chance. Let me lay this thing out. I think that is exactly what happened, Councillor. I think Samuel Tway will go and tell him, say, Baku, you can't just leave us hanging. You must go. By fire, by force, we got to win this thing. But it's a new day in the country. You cannot say that. You have robbed the system. Roll for money, you're chopping. Imagine you give the money to your secret agents and they can give it back to you in return. So what's going on with the government? The old man are going to bear hungry. No food. They start drinking dirty water after President. We have promised them. Don't come after me, though. I ain't got no political leader. You can cost me, it's up to you. But somebody out there know that the way the people have treated the Liberian people is so bad. It's wickedness. You chop roll from money. It's not enough. You chop the people payroll money. It's not enough. You build your 18 condominiums. It's not enough. You can fly a private jet. It's not enough. Just give the people the letter that they deserve. Amen. Stability, that ain't power. It's not forced for you to be a leader of a country. They have given you enough. Give them back just the little things that they deserve. Better education, new investment, good healthcare system. Amen, President Weah. We got another video coming up. We'll be playing it. You see Senator enjoying, all the ministers enjoying. Then they come back to you to ask you for 6 more years. Are you serious? What kind of draft face is that? They gave you year 1. You chop. You said no money was in the coffer. Year 2, you said that COVID. Or year 3, you said that COVID. Whatever the year is. Every money that came, you whip it. WFP money came, you eat it. You say, I get it, the money to WFP, we can do audit. You think we're stupid? The people must hear this and hear it well. The people should hear this. Liberians going to bed hungry should hear this. Somebody, family member dying right now because of poor medical care. They should hear this. People dying of sugar problem or high blood pressure problem. Something that can be taken care of. Amen. And when we go to they say the man made dialysis machine since 1822. When we go to they say he built 14 military hospitals since 1920. Are you kidding me? To God be the glory. May God have mercy upon our country. It's bad for Liberia. You need to cry for your country when you see the 11 years old, the 12 years old, the 15 years old walking between cars to sell cold water, sachet bag cold water, just for them to eat. And the mom and dad saying roasted cassava. You are a security man right now, buying somebody's house for $50 a month. Amen. You 50-something years old. You honor the rain, you honor the sun. They're having good night's sleep. But you're standing in front of the gate for $50 a month. Why are we so wicked, Dr. Richard said, to our own people? Why? Why are we so wicked? This is bad. This is wickedness. They gave you the power. You travel to America. You travel to Europe. You go all over. You eat all the best food. They open your car doors. They wash your cars. They wash your children. They babysit them. They cook for you. They iron your clothes. Everything. What are you giving in return to them? What are you giving back? We need to understand this. Liberia deserves better. So you're asking for 6 more years? You shouldn't get 6 more years. The people shouldn't give you 6 more years. You don't deserve 6 more years. You're asking for 6 more years to do what? Something that you had a chance to do, but you didn't do? 6 more years to do what? 6 more years to steal a lot? 6 more years to rape the children? 6 more years to make more Zogos? 6 more years to burn down the house? How dare you ask for 6 more years? You're not even ashamed. May God bless us. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. And thank you to all the Liberian folks that listen to us every evening. May you go to bed and be protected by the grace of God. May the peace of God remain upon Liberia till we reach to October 10. And may the people vote for the future not for instant gratification. Have a good night, James. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, folks, this is how we love to go home. And by God's willing, we will be back tomorrow. So until then, have yourself a great time. Bye-bye from mine.
To get your information, to the spoon, to be part of our discussion.
Yes, sir. A special
No,
one
Juma Jara, it came from Senator Didon.
and your boy Friday the